Offs are on Westwood One. The producer of NFL Insider is Brian Finkelstein, production supervisor Aaron Cummins, coordinating producer Mike Eby, the executive producer is Howard Deneroff. Now for Ian Rappaport, Jason McCourty, and Devin McCourty, I'm Scott Graham. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the games. You've been listening to NFL Insider on Westwood One.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We have the Arizona Wildcats covered on game day like no one else. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown and Tipoff Show on the home of Arizona men's basketball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Caleb holding inside the ball. Oh, pump fake and slam it home.
Big post up from Big Ballo. Carlson can do nothing but watch the dunk.
17 for Ballo. Tell you about that in a moment. That's his 1,000th point. Wildcats throw it to Larson. Slam it home. Timeout. Pella Larson just scored his 1,000th point.
Two 1,000-point scores happening in one basketball game. Last Saturday, a win for the University of Arizona at home over the Utah Utes. It's been a week off for this basketball program. They've gone from number 10 in the country to number 8 in the country, and sure to go up even higher after everything that we have seen take place this week with 1 losing, 2 losing, 5 losing, a lot of losing in the top 25. And can the Arizona Wildcats avoid what has been an upset week in the top 25? We will find out in just a few hours when they take on the Washington State Cougars in Pullman, Washington, on this Saturday, January the 13th. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show. I am David Kelly, joined as always by my guys. That is Calvin Efon, the captain from the class of 1998. J.W. Madden is also here as well with us. Arizona, Washington State guys today in Pullman. Again, Tommy Lloyd indicated, hey, we needed this. We needed this kind of a week with just one game and to kind of refresh. It's been a long road. We've talked about the 5 games that they played in the month of December. The majority of those were on the road, and then you go right into the Pac-12 conference with a road trip to the Bay Area. So essentially, you're playing. I think they played 5 consecutive games on the road against major competition and conference competition, and then you come home and you're right into it with 2 games against a couple of clubs that came in 2-0 off wins their first opening weekend, and so it was a very interesting 7-game stretch for this club. So nice to kind of maybe have this pseudo bye week where you only have the 1 game. You still got to take a long trip. Right. I mean, it ain't, this is not an easy trip to get up to Pullman, Washington. It's still a long trip, but just the 1 game to go this week.
Yeah, just the 1 game, but trust me, this week was a rough week for the players because I guarantee you they got a lot of work in, coming off that loss from the Stanford game and just playing a tough game versus the Colorado and Utah schools. So I guarantee you during that week they put a lot of work in, make sure the guys were in great condition, and you're getting ready for a Washington State team that's, trust me, there's not going to be an easy win, man, especially at 3rd place. These guys want to make the tournament, as I say about all these teams, but they have a resume that they can make a tournament, but they need some wins like this. So I think this is going to be a scrappy game today.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, Kelvin, from the standpoint that, you come off winning 2 games at home, and now you're going out into this situation. This is a Washington State team that they're kind of playing the opposite end of this. It's a weird week kind of for everybody. The Wildcats are just playing the 1 game. Washington State is playing 2, but they're playing the weird now new with the 20-game schedule, 1 game on the road and 1 game at home. So they had to go all the way down to Los Angeles play a game on Wednesday, which they won. First time that they've won at USC, I believe, since like around 2015. So successful for them from that standpoint. And then they had to turn around and go all the way back home to get ready for this ball game. So you wonder, how's that going to affect them? They've had a travel week, a longer travel week than you might say in a 2-game week, because normally you would go down to LA, stay in LA, play 2 games, but now you go down to LA, you play a game, you come back home and have to play another game. So, I mean, that could be something that could be that they've got to deal with today.
No, but you home.
Yeah.
You know, you're home. You got your home crowd. You used to see it all, the snow. I seen some of the snow out there, man, one of the pictures that was posted, and I was like, oh, yeah, this remind me of that time that we went down there and you're throwing snowballs because you're in the desert and you don't get to see snowballs. So you get distracted by some of that stuff, man. And, you know, then you go in there and the team is more feisty than you expected.
Yeah, it's been bad weather all over the country this weekend. We've already found out that they're pushing one of the National Football League playoff games, the game that was supposed to be played tomorrow. The first game in Buffalo is going to be pushed now to Monday afternoon due to the snow and the bad weather that they've had there. We mentioned it on the talk show yesterday that they were asking for volunteers to come out and help clear the stadium, and they were offering folks $20 an hour to shovel snow in Buffalo.
They needed help.
Yeah, exactly. So they've pushed that game now to 4:30 Eastern time on Monday. And obviously they're going to be dealing with cold weather today. I'm looking at it right now. The night game, the second game today, is in Kansas City, and the current temperature in Kansas City right now is -4 degrees.
Man, and it's gonna be terrible when that darkness hit.
Ooh,
terrible.
My goodness, not what the Miami Dolphins authored up for their first playoff game in a number of years, to have to go into Kansas City and play the AFC champions in that type of situation.
And that team's all about speed, right?
Hell yeah.
So,
yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that as well. All right, you heard right there off the top, you heard from the game on last Saturday, both Umar Ballo and Pelle Larsson reached the 1,000-point club. And those two young men spoke about that honor after the ball game.
I honestly didn't know. Like coming to the game, I had no idea that I was that close. And when I was like 4 points away, that was when Pele got his, and then they told me, "Hey, you 4 points away." I was, oh wow, I didn't even know that.
Well, I mean, just considering where you guys started your careers and then where you are now, just thoughts on that accomplishment and being able to stick it out.
Honestly, you know, I started Gonzaga, played 1 year, didn't really play much, so came here for 3 years, been a long and great 3 years, and I'm grateful for it, and happy for Pele that he got his 1,000 point too. So,
yeah, I mean, it goes by quick. It's been a lot of fun, and when you just hoop, you kind of don't really pay attention to this kind of stuff that just happened. So I'm happy for O, and yeah, next game is Saturday.
Did Pelle that it happened against Utah too?
I mean, I guess it's kind of full circle if you want to write that, but it's. I think one guy left on that team from when I played there, but they're a great group of guys, and I mean it's fun anytime I play them.
All right, that was Pelle Larsson and Umar Ballo reaching the 1,000-point club at two respective schools. The majority of those points came at Arizona, 200-plus points for Pelle Larsson at Utah prior to his arrival, 60 points for Umar Ballo at Gonzaga, where he stayed or started his college career. Both are transfers here into this program. Tommy Lloyd, just happy to have both of those transfers.
The 1,000-point thing for me, guys, is like, for one, just real simple. I'm not a big birthday guy, you know. I'm sorry. I mean, it's the other day, and I'm not a big milestone guy with basketball. Like I just don't think you play for those things, and you know, I'm really proud of those guys for getting it. But listen, they both, whether they have 999 points or 1,001, are really good players, and they're great guys, and I love having them here. And you know, I mean, you know, I thought about it a couple of days ago. You almost get emotional, you know, like, you know, Pelle took a chance on me. He did. I mean, I hadn't won a game, hadn't coached a game. And he was getting recruited by, Kansas and us, and, and it was a battle. And he put faith in us, and he came here, and we're lucky. Well, I mean, Arizona's lucky, and I'm lucky that he did. And he was obviously going through some tough times. He and I were together, and for him to be able to flip it like this, I don't think anybody 3 years ago would have said, Umar Ballo would score 1,000 points because, at Gonzaga, I don't know how many, he didn't score many, 60. So 940 points at Arizona, and, it ain't easy to score 1,000 points in your career in college, and he's going to do it in 3 years. So it's pretty special. So I'm really, really, really proud of him, and he's a great guy, and he's a force.
You look at those two guys, Kelvin, obviously Umar Ballo, you really didn't know what to expect coming in here because he had not played much at Gonzaga. And so the fact that he has grown into the player that he has is a testament to Tommy Lloyd and what he's able to do with big men, following very similar to the jump that we saw from Christian Koloko in his second year under Tommy Lloyd.
Yeah, I do give the coach a lot of credit, but man, I got to give Ballo the credit, man, for the hard work he's put in with the strength and conditioning coaches. He was a pretty good player internationally before he even got to Gonzaga. I knew about Baby Shaq, or whatever they was calling him. So he was a pretty good player, but at Gonzaga, he's behind some great players. I mean, you get stuck behind some guys, man, and if you don't get out of there, you may never get seen. So he ended up getting out of there, getting an opportunity to get here with the guy that recruited him, Lloyd, and got a chance to play, man, and he hasn't showed anything but growth every year. So I'm not surprised that he's gotten here, but I give the coaches credit, but man, I have to give more credit to him, man, because I've just seen him grow in every way.
Yeah, it's just a testament to perseverance, right? Because you talk about Timmy up there in Spokane, Koloko, first year here, right? I mean, he's been playing behind some guys who can ball, Kelvin. Yeah. And rather than hang his head and be like, hey, I should be better than that guy, I should be out in the court, whatever, he's just worked on his game. He just worked on his footwork, worked on his hands, and just he is where he is today because, as you just said, I mean, he put the work in.
And, boy, did they put the work in as a team at the rim in that game against Utah. 11 dunks for the Arizona Wildcats. Umar asked about that.
Honestly, we were just trying to make layups, whether it's a dunk or laid in. We just wanted to make 2 points. And if we had the chance to dunk the ball, which is like 100% or less, like secure to make the basket, then we just take that. But we were not trying to dunk everything. It just happened.
Yeah, 100%. You better make those dunks. It's something that we've kind of been following this season. The play around the rim of this team. Caleb Love got on a real big run in that ball game. It led to him being the player of the week this week in the Pac-12 conference. It's astonishing. That's the first conference player of the week award he's won at either of his two schools, whether it be Arizona or whether it be the University of North Carolina. And Tommy Lloyd this week talked about that run that Caleb Love got on in the win over Utah.
Caleb, as we know, I mean, he can get hot, and he got on a heater for a minute, and then I just told him, hey, take a breath. You kind of got us a little separation now. Let us bring it home, and 23 is good enough. And I told him going into the last game, hey, I'll take 15 points and great defense. And he's really growing in that, and he's a game changer.
That's interesting. That's the first time we've really heard Tommy Lloyd categorize his expectations as that 15 points and good defense.
Yeah, and man, I always say I'd rather have a guy you have to call off than a guy you have to beg to go and like, come on, man, we really need you to shoot the ball, and so hey, I hear Coach with the 15 points, but I just think to win a national championship, he's going to have a few games. He's going to have a few games because, guys get a little tight when they get into those situations, and he's a guy that's been in the biggest moments, so he's just not afraid. So, again, having your coach, taking the pressure off of you and saying only 15, he's like, 15? I can guarantee you love thinking 15, but just to know.
As the minimum.
Yeah, just to know as a minimum that's it. That does take pressure off your shoulder. It don't make you feel like you have to go out and get a 30-piece.
We're going to hear more from Caleb Love a little bit later. In fact, let's tell you what we've got in store for you today. Countdown to tip-off.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Do things the right way.
Caleb Love is our spotlight on a cat. We will hear from him this week. He sat down with the media. Eldridge Rakasner is our view from courtside. The Washington Husky great will be on the call today in the analyst seat for the Pac-12 Network up in Pullman. We'll hear from Eldridge. Eldridge, I will ask him about his thoughts on the demise of the conference as well. And your scouting report will be delivered by the radio voice of the Washington State Cougars, Matt Chazanow. Best bets, Arizona enters this game as a 9-point favorite today. We'll give you our best of the game as well as get you up to date on everything that's happening across the Pac-12 as well as college basketball. And we'll keep you up to date as well on the National Football League playoffs, although that won't get underway for a couple of hours or so. The first game of the day, my Cleveland Browns on the road against the Houston Texans. All of that is coming up straight ahead for you. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off show, along with Kelvin Efon and J.W. Madden. I'm David Kelly. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
This hour of the Meridian Wealth Management pregame show is brought to you by Advanced Auto Care, Crest Insurance Group, Desert Diamond Casinos, First Chiropractic, Frog Inn Firkin, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, the Polston Results Team with Keller Williams, Southern Arizona, Royal GMC Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, the Window Depot.
What up, Tucson? This is Joseph Blair, former Wildcat and assistant coach of the Washington Wizards. When I came to play basketball at the U of A in the 90s, the Tucson community became and has always remained a special part of my life. And this is why I proudly joined the Meridian Wealth Management Tucson Advisory Business Council. If you have financial questions or concerns, please be sure and call my friends Natalie or Ruben Fernandez at 719-1433 or visit online at Meridian Wealth LLC. And as always, bear down, Tucson.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Southern Arizona Radiology Associates have been dedicated to providing superior images and quality care for the last 35 years. They're the one you trust when you need an X-ray, CT scan, ultrasound, mammogram, or MRI. They have locations in Tucson, Green Valley, and Sierra Vista. Ask your doctor to refer you to Southern Arizona Radiology Associates today. That's Southern Arizona Radiology Associates. Visit their website at sararadiology.com or call 520-335-6849 for more information.
True Wildcat fans know that when you're looking for the best place to watch all the big games on big screens, drinking cold beer and having the best food, all paths lead to Desert Diamond. Bet on your Wildcats and all your favorite teams 24/7 on our easy-to-use kiosks. Come chill on our comfy couches and build your best bet at Arizona's best bet, the Desert Diamond Sportsbook and Bar.
An enterprise of the Tohono O'odham Nation.
Problem gambling? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Desert Diamond Casino is licensed in Arizona.
Get the backyard you've always wanted with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you're ready to dive in, then visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Schedule now and get 3 months of full service free. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools, the first and only choice.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rock & K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills. Enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Explore natural open space, a network of connecting trails, and a community park within the Vail School District. Visit Lennar's 2 communities in Rock & K with home savings up to $35,000 and limited time interest rate and closing cost incentives on select move-in ready homes. Live RockandK.com. Designed by Nature, proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
With these scratchers, I'll win enough dough to enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally know how to fix your car right.
Well, then keep on scratching, Eugene.
Good luck on that, guys. But if you need a sure thing in automotive repair or for your next set of tires, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. And this month, pay with your Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care card and get $66 back.
And check out our full page of promotions and discounts at jackfurriers.com.
O'Reilly.com. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960, here to get you there.
Savings in Selection 100 is going on right now at O'Reilly Chevrolet because we have selection, we have savings, and we have over 100 trucks, including Chevy Silverados, the #1 selling full-size pickup in Arizona. See them all at O'Reilly.com. Call 747-8000 or test drive one today on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Find new roads during Savings in Selection 100 at O'Reilly Chevrolet. More than a great price.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
See dealer for details.
Caruso's, a Tucson tradition since 1938, located on historic 4th Avenue. For 4 generations, Caruso's handmade sauce has been prepared with love by a family member, using only the best ingredients. Enjoy specialty Italian dishes like lasagna al forno, chicken tetrazzini, real Italian sausages, spectacular pizza, as well as many vegetarian options. Caruso's offers outdoor dining on their garden patio with indoor dining also available. Open Tuesday through Sunday, with all your favorites available for takeout. For more information, call 520-624-5765 or visit their website at carusositalian.com.
The Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show continues on the home of Arizona men's basketball, Wildcats Radio 1290.
15 to shoot, plenty of time. Love now driving the other way to the bucket and slams it down. Nobody got in his way.
Like a heat-seeking missile right down the lane. Tomahawk.
Our first look at today's Arizona men's basketball game is brought to you by The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com.
On the road to Wazoo are the Arizona Wildcats today for the 89th time these two teams will play. It's a series that has been dominated by the Arizona Wildcats 70-18. In favor of the U of A. The Wildcats have won 11 straight games in Pullman after losing there back in 2010 and dating back to 1997. Arizona is 22-3 in Pullman, Washington. So the odds are in favor of your Wildcats, but you got to get out there and play the games, and that's what will have to happen today for Arizona. It's a tip-off at 4 o'clock. Tommy Lloyd this week asked if he, in fact, watched that game that Wazoo had in their win over the USC Trojans on Wednesday.
I watched the game just like you did, Bruce. I didn't, go through fast forward, rewind it. I just watched it, and it was kind of on there, the TV. And I mean, Washington State, they Kyle's done a good job. These jobs are tough, and you kind of have to rebuild your roster year after year. He's done a good job, consistently rebuilding it with impact players. To me, they got a good young guard core, and they got a couple bigs inside they're really comfortable playing through right now. So. We to me, it looks like they're, got a good balance of a strong inside attack and capable perimeter players. So it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, it was a 72-64 win over the Trojans on a Wednesday night. Talking about those bigs, Isaac Jones, the fifth-year forward who comes in averaging 15 points and 7 rebounds, had his best game of the season, scoring 26 points. Another big, Jalen Wells. Jalen is a junior averaging 8 points and 9 and 4, and he had 17 points in that ball game. As we mentioned, they won at Galen Center for the first time since 2015. Obviously, Tommy Lloyd is a guy that's familiar with the great Northwest, having been there for the majority of his life. Cats are coming in off of the win over the Utah Utes, a very comfortable ball game, and sweeping the Rocky Mountain Schools. Pella Larson, did this team get its mojo back?
It's our defense. Whenever we play good defense, good things happen. And definitely getting back to being more aggressive and going after people on defense.
Was there any key defensively, or what do you think maybe in the second half, shutting down the threes, maybe contesting them a little more compared to, say, like Stanford or anything? Was it a different approach defensively in the second?
No, we always want to contest shots, and they made a few heavy contested ones, and we fouled on some three-pointers too in the first half. And then, we keep putting that pressure, and we tell our guys just stay with it. They're going to miss, and we're going to run. So good things are going to happen.
Well, and it was great to see the Wildcats kind of get back to, they took control of the two main offensive players for those two teams. KJ Simpson coming in, held him down. Brandon Carlson coming in, were able to hold him down. At the end of the day, this is a team that's going to be built on defense, and that's going to be critical for them moving forward.
Yeah, you love the offense. You love the points and the dunks and the threes. It's exciting. It brings the crowd. But to win a championship, you're going to have to be able to win on the days when those shots are not falling. And have to figure out how to slow people down when they're actually having a good day. So, Pella's right. It's that attitude of that defense. And I think coming out of that week, they put a lot of, defensive work in to get ready for a game like Washington State, because it's going to take defense to be able to stop a team like this. I mean, Cal, if you know anything about Cal Smith teams, when they was at San Francisco, they scored points. I mean, he always had offenses that and found guys that you never heard of that got buckets.
Yeah, I mean, look, I saw Steph Curry go 1 for 12, Kelvin, right? Like, that can happen. Best shooter in the history of the game. Defense travels came out of the Miller era, but what I always took that as is not on the road you could need to play good defense to get wins. I took it as if your offense is not it's not functioning at full capacity, and you're not getting good looks, or maybe your just shots aren't falling from the outside, that effort and energy and focus on locking guys down and being as one, 5 guys on the court together as one, Kelvin, that will always be effective and can win you games even when your offense isn't doing its thing. So, I mean, no matter what, we saw at Stanford exactly what happened, those open shots that we saw. Moving forward, another road trip, you just got to make sure that you're locked in.
And when you look at this team at the offensive end, it was good to see Keyshawn Johnson kind of pick back up with his scoring. He had, that was one of the things that I talked about. I wanted to see Keyshawn kind of get him more involved again. We saw that a lot earlier in the season, early in ball games. The scoring had kind of dropped off heading into the weekend, last weekend, but was able to get the 20-point game against the Utah Utes, and that was something that really Tommy Lloyd liked from the way that his team and his offense kind of found that way to get Keyshawn back involved.
Key was a guy, who came here and, and we were told, great kid, plays hard, winner, ultimate team guy, which he is, all those things, but, maybe a little bit limited offensively. And for him to score 20 points quietly, it's pretty special. He and I are going to talk. We talked, during the game and after, just on some ideas we can continue to help him get better and find more opportunities for a player. And to score 20 in a Pac-12, meaningful Pac-12 game, I mean, shows how far he's come.
Yeah, 9 of 11 from the floor against Utah in that to get those 20 points. He set a new career high for field goals made in a game. He had never made 9 field goals in a game. He's got 14 3-point shots made this season. He only had 11 last year in 39 games for a San Diego State team that went to the national championship game. So clearly, Keyshawn Johnson, and it's kind of weird. I mean, to hear him kind of talk in that vein that, okay, well, this is a guy you're getting. He might not necessarily be much of an offensive guy for you, but clearly from the beginning of the season, you could see that Keyshawn wanted to be an offensive guy for this team.
Well, JWDK, this is why transfers happen. Because one coach will see you as a defensive player, and another coach will give you an opportunity to play. So at the end of the day, Keyshawn has raised his stock for a professional career in Europe, especially, but also in America as one of the multiple defenders, and he's also showing that he can shoot the ball from the 3, which is coveted in the NBA. But let's not talk about that. But I'm just saying that to me, he's just too unselfish. Even at San Diego State, he played his role and he wouldn't go outside of it for the betterment of the team, which is always great as far as making an NBA team as one of the guys coming off the bench. You're not necessarily the franchise guy. But as far as in college is concerned, having the confidence and watching this offense play the way it played, it gave him the confidence to come here. And to me, the games when he's not being aggressive, it's hurting. It's not really hurting the team, but it's him being still trying to be that. I don't want to mess up nothing. I don't want to take those chances. But as people saw, and I have been saying all year, right, J-Dub, I said, man, I saw this kid and he made 23s in a row
in the summertime.
Yeah, before he even got a lot of work in with the coaches. So,
I think a lot of times media and fans put guys in a box, and it's based on the style of play. So not to go back to your time at USC, DK, but Hank and Bo, averaged 8 points at USC, and then they averaged 50 points a game at Loyola Marymount. Like, it doesn't mean that they can't do it. It just sometimes has to do with the style that they're playing in. And I think Keshad is clearly a defense first, rebound first, team first guy. Kelvin just laid it out. Unselfish, because that's just that's his style. But think about like that Duke and one with under a minute to go. That was like maybe the biggest play in the game. Like when Keshad is aggressive and looks for his own, but within Lloyd's system, there's so many more opportunities because it's really whoever's open is the one who needs to take the shot, and that's the offense.
And so, what you're saying though, Kelvin, is you think he needs to take a more of an opportunity to look to score.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened in that game. I mean, how many games have he even took 11 shots?
Right.
He would take a couple threes. He would a dunk or a little hook shot or not, and and then just fall back and just let everybody else do their thing, which is a good trait. But for this team to have the success that you wanted to have, keep guys from doubling Ballo, because they have to pick their poison when you're watching this team. And right now, if you watch them, you play off Pella a little bit and you play off Keshad a little bit, because both of those guys are the ultimate glue guys. You hate to use that word, but we kind of need them to be more than that for this team to go where they want to go, because Love is not always going to be able to shoot you out of it. The young fella, the 18-year-old Boswell, he's not going to always be able to carry the team. This team is built on everybody doing their thing.
It's all about basketball. To me, is about picking your spots. So you got to make sure that if you get the defense moving, Kelvin, and all of a sudden ball gets swung to Keshad and he's got a chance to drive, but you got to drive baseline hard and attack the rim every single time. It's not a matter of trying to be as aggressive as you can every time down the court to score. It's when you have those opportunities within the offense and the ball's swung to you, can't not shoot it. When Kylan Boswell didn't shoot last year at Stanford, he got pulled from the game. You got to shoot those open shots. Keshad has to drive those closeouts and be aggressive because the whole team's better for it.
Well, and it's interesting looking, just like I mentioned, that the 9 field goals that he made was a career high. He's only taken double-digit shots 4 times this season, but they were all in pretty big ball games. He took 14 shots against Duke. He took 10 against Wisconsin. He took 13 at Purdue, and then he took 11 in the game against the Utah Utes. And so it seems like when the moment is there, when it's a game that matters, maybe those are the games where he's maybe looking for his offense just a little bit more than some of those other games. And shooting 58% on the season, so, I mean, that's not a bad clip for big guys. So you would definitely like to see him maybe have more of an opportunity. We see a lot of also 5, 6, 7, 6 4-shot games. I think when you're talking about Keshad Johnson, you'd like to see more, I think, 7, 8, 9, 10-shot games moving forward.
Well, it goes hand in hand, right? Because Pella's at 56% from the field. 56% from the field. But that's because he's very selective, right? He's not out there forcing shots, Kelvin. So those numbers are what they are because glue guys. That's what you said. Kelvin said it. Keshad Johnson, Pella Larson, they're just trying to do what it takes within each possession to make the team play as efficiently as possible. And those guys, sometimes you want them to take more shots if they got it going, Kelvin. That's the thing. Like if you see a guy knock a couple down, don't pass it up.
And I read something from DK on X. Is that what they call it? Twitter now. Let's go X. And he was saying Puya. How you say her name?
Puyo.
Yeah,
we'll get into that.
Need more plays where the play is specifically for her to take the shot, and if swing back to her and take it again. To me, I want to see. I would love to see it. I'm a sets guy. If the play isn't there, I like to run a set to get a specific guy shot. Make sure you get that touch, because usually in basketball, hey, if there's no guy that has to take the shot, if it come to me, I might take it every time. So you gotta run something to and you want guys confident like that too, DK.
Yeah.
You want them like that you got to pull them back a little bit, but But to me, running sets, I would love to see pick and pop with Keyshawn Johnson and Caleb Love. What do you do with that? You know what I'm saying? What do you do? Have you ever seen it, J-Dub? A pick and pop with those two?
No, I mean, I've seen Caleb penetrate and get Keyshawn the ball quite a bit, but not action like with them specifically.
Right, and you don't want to change the offense up and stuff. And I understand where Coach come from. People know your sets, and they try to take them away from you, and now you have to deal with all that. And now you late shot clock, whatever. Whatever they're doing is working. They're winning. But I would just love to see, situations where him and Pella were forced in situations where they knew in rhythm that they were getting that shot. Because when you see them shooting at that clip on shots that they don't even know really, kind of picking their spot type of shots, what would they do on a shot that they knew in rhythm they were going to take?
Well, since you brought up Helena Puello, the Arizona women's basketball team lost last night in double overtime in Oregon to the Beavers, 73-70. Helena Puello played 49 minutes and took 3 shots. And that just cannot happen anymore.
Yeah, that's hard to
That just cannot happen anymore. I mean, imagine if, and we'll get more into this later in the show. Imagine if she's obviously, she plays a lot of positions, but she's essentially the 3. Imagine if Pella Larson did not score a single point in a game. You're just not going to win. You're not going to win when your key senior players don't score points and don't take shots. And Helena Puello has got to take shots. And they've got, and Adia Barnes' biggest thing moving forward has got to be to figure out a way to get Helena Puello to take shots. And if you have, and I wrote this as Kelvin mentioned on Twitter, if you have to force her to take shots, say run her sets where nobody shoots the ball except for Helena on this set. Helena, you've got, we're going to give you 3 opportunities to shoot the basketball. And in one of those 3 opportunities, you better find a shot. And if you get to the 3rd and you don't have, then you got to create something, because we need you in this offense to be good, to have a chance.
It's tough because ideally you want 5 women, 5 guys on the court, all to be threats. But TJ, Kelvin, right? I mean, TJ would not shoot from 12 feet out. And so the defenses would always play. I'm talking in college.
Yeah.
He's developed quite a bit of mid-range. He's been playing great lately. But there are players who, for whatever reason, it's in their head, Kelvin. I think a lot of times it's the whole moment. And I'm not talking about Helena Puello specifically, but ideally you want everybody to be able to have confidence if they're open to let it fly and that whole thing. Because if you don't, defenses can just twist it and make it so that it's 5-on-4, right? And that's the biggest issue, I think, when you got a player who isn't confident taking those shots.
All right, 520, we want to hear from you today as well. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. You want to talk about Arizona men's basketball in this game today in Pullman. You want to talk about what you saw last night from the Arizona women's basketball game. We'll get in. That's the interesting thing about this job versus my old job. I actually at times get to sit home and watch a lot more of these games in full, and I get frustrated sometimes. And so we'll talk about that as well. It's the Meridian Wealth Management pregame show, countdown to tip-off, getting you set for the Wildcats and the Washington State Cougars. Kelvin Efine is here, as well as J.W. Madden. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
That's been our first look at today's Arizona men's basketball game. Brought to you by The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindow.depot.com. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show on the home of Arizona men's basketball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Ever wonder if after a long day of returning holiday gifts, the secret to banishing your body aches lies right under your feet? The reason for your knee, hip, and back pain could be stemming from your feet. It may all be connected. The Good Feet store's arch supports are designed to alleviate, even eliminate that pain, and are possible game changers for your entire body. And as a bonus, they're HSA FSA eligible. Schedule your free fitting and test walk at goodfeet.com or stop by a store. Walk-ins are welcome. Visit the Good Feet store. You deserve it.
Are you ready to adopt? Come to the Humane Society of Southern Arizona. When you adopt from us, you will save more than one life. You'll also make room for the next pet in need. The Humane Society of Southern Arizona has been compassionately serving pets and the people who love them since 1944. Our knowledgeable adoption matchmakers will help you find the right pet for your home and support you after you adopt. We are open 7 days a week at our main campus at 635 West Roger Road. Learn more and see adoptable pets at hssaz.org.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
For over 30 years, Tucson has been putting its trust in First Chiropractic for auto and on-the-job injuries. They're locally owned and a proud sponsor of the U of A radio broadcast. So if you've been injured, make the right choice first.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Here's an important message from University Termite and Pest Control. The weather is getting cooler here, and so rodents will be seeking alternative housing. Do you need a professional? Call University Termite and Pest Control, 886-4146. They've been serving Tucson since 1974. You can be assured University Termite and Pest Control will keep you pest-free using the most responsible products and application methods. 28 school districts, 3 hospitals, 2 colleges, 1 university, and thousands of homeowners trust University Termite and Pest Control. You can too. Call University Termite and Pest Control today at 886-4146 or go to bepestfree.com.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats basketball radio broadcast. 2 powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
The Window Depot is proud to sponsor the first look at today's game and would like to invite Arizona Wildcat fans to visit one of their Tucson warehouses. The Window Depot provides over 1,000 in-stock vinyl windows, interior and exterior doors, plus granite and quartz countertops, and a huge selection of custom cabinetry, all at the lowest prices in town. Consider the Window Depot your MVP when it comes to your home improvement needs. Stores are open Monday through Saturday, or order online at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Frog and Firkin, a standout among the bars and restaurants in the university area. Frog and Firkin does what very few pubs can, combine a festive atmosphere and great beer with a menu that could stand on its own in any restaurant setting. A sports enthusiast dream with over 30 TVs, 30 beers on tap, and over 100 import and domestic bottles. Daily drink and food specials, and the kitchen is serving until 10. A standout in the university area. Frog and Firkin. Eat local, support local. frogandfirkin.com.
The Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show continues on the home of Arizona men's basketball, Wildcats Radio 1290. It's time now to take you down the front row of the arena. A view from courtside is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, celebrating 25 years serving Southern Arizona.
Let's head down to the baseline and hear from one of the men who will call this game today on the Pac-12 Network, analyst Eldridge Rickasner, the Washington Husky great, working the Washington State game, but saw his Huskies become the first team to knock off ASU in Pac-12 play on Thursday night. Eldridge, what kind of stood out to you about the way that the Huskies were able to handle the Sun Devils over in Seattle?
I think the most impressive thing was they went back to their zone. They went back to Mike Hopkins' zone. I felt like they didn't think they could stay in front of Arizona State perimeter guys. So they went zone, and it paid huge dividends for them. And then another thing, Severe Wheeler came into that game shooting 17% from three, and Bobby Hurley just dared him to make a shot. And, man, he went 5 for 5 from downtown. So I think that plan backfired. That was the two things that stood out the most to me.
I guess the Huskies obviously got off to a tough start, getting swept on the first trip down to the Rocky Mountain schools and losing that first game at home. But they've really needed these kind of last two games to get back on track.
Yeah, I knew going down to Colorado and Utah would be tough, two of the better teams in the conference. And then they didn't have Frank Kepnon, their big man that brings a lot of energy, plays with a lot of passion. He's hurt. They got a kid named Wesley Yates who's the number 37 player in the country, ranked 37th in the country. He hasn't played yet this year. So not having those two guys was huge. But I thought coming back they would beat Oregon and Oregon State. And when they lost to Oregon, I thought that put them in a must-win situation against Oregon State and pretty much against ASU last night, because they now go out on the road. They got to play UCLA, Cal, and Stanford, and all of a sudden, a lot like Arizona State, Stanford's playing a lot better. So, it's always tough to win on the road in the Pac-12. So Washington really needed that win last night.
Washington State and Arizona in Pullman. What have you seen from Arizona that you like? Obviously, this is a team with a couple of transfers in, and Caleb Love and Keyshawn Johnson that have taken teams to the highest level of college basketball in the national championship games. One of the things we've just kind of been a theme all year for us is it's very rare that you can get two transfers of that caliber into one program in the same season.
Well, if anybody could do it, it's the University of Arizona. I came to the Pac-10 back in 1985, and it was kind of on the heels of UCLA with all their great teams with John Wooden. But since then, I think Arizona's been the best program on the West Coast. You talk about Gonzaga as well, but I'm not surprised. I think Tommy Lloyd, one of the best coaches in all of college basketball. Kasheed Johnson, Caleb Love, everybody knows who those guys are. Caleb at North Carolina, Kasheed at San Diego State. But in this era of NIL, man, if you got some money and you're a program that players not going to make the tournaments and they get some visibility, that's what happens. The thing that's most impressive about Arizona to me is they got to do that every position. I mean, there's nobody that you can lay off. Boswell's a great point guard. Caleb Love, great shooting guard. You got Palouse. You got Omar. They just loaded at all five spots, man. But sometimes teams go to Washington State and it's a letdown. And I think Washington State is playing a lot better than people thought that they would this year. And the unfortunate thing for me is I had a chance to think about it last night as I was thinking about my game, and this might be the last time that Arizona goes to Pullman, and that's the sad part about the conference breaking up.
Yeah, absolutely. Eldridge Rakasner from the Pac-12 Network is our guest. It's our View from Courtside, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, celebrating 25 years of serving Arizona. I want to talk a little bit more about Caleb Love and just his ability to not only shoot the ball from behind the arc and get going from that range, but his ability to take the ball to the basket. How do you scout him, and what kind of stands out to you about his game specifically?
Well, he's just real aggressive. I mean, that's the thing I think that separates him. He seems to be a guy that's always looking for his shot. He has a green light from Coach Lloyd. He's out there playing his game, but it's going to be an interesting matchup. It wouldn't surprise me if Kamani Winsu is guarding him, a guy for Washington State that's really, really versatile and a really good defender with good length at about 6'6", So him and Jalen Wells, I think, will be the guys that will probably be on Caleb. But Washington State is going to have their hands full because, like I said, he's just a guy that's always in attack mode. I remember that game at Duke early in the year. Obviously he was used to playing against them. But he's just a kid that's been in big moments with North Carolina, and I think he's going to be a guy, if Arizona's going to make a deep run in the NCAA tournament and make the Final Four, he's going to have to be a guy that's going to have to be one of their leaders.
Kylan Boswell is a young kid that went through some struggles, got off to a really hot start, but then kind of went through some struggles in December. What's important for young guards like that are maybe in their first year as a starter, how they handle those situations and can fight through some of that, and especially when you're in a program where all eyes are on you and you start not to play well, now you got the fan base chirping. What's important for those players and how they kind of handle those situations?
I think the confidence of his veteran teammates. That's one thing that I always look for. When guys get the rebound, do they give it up to a young point guard? When they don't give it up to a young point guard, that means that they don't have confidence in him. And what I see is they're giving the ball up to him. He's playing a lot better now. I've seen his name in some mock drafts in the first round. I was kind of surprised. But I think that's the most important thing. If his teammates have confidence in him, then that's going to give him some confidence, because when you're playing point guard for Arizona, and I'll say this, I think he's an upgrade from Kirk Kriisa, who was there, last year or whatever. I like his game, but when your teammates have confidence in you, that gives you confidence. And for a young player, he's hit some big shots so far this season. I really like his game. It's a learning curve for everybody. You can be the best player in high school. That doesn't mean it's going to translate to the collegiate level. Then you can be great in college. It doesn't mean it's going to transfer to the NBA level. So sometimes it takes a while. And I think he's coming into his own and is going to be a fantastic player for Arizona this year.
Washington State went down on the road and got a big win at Southern California earlier this week. Let's touch on a few of the guys we're going to see in this ball game, and we'll start with the fabulous freshman, and you know that has just really come back from cancer and been unbelievable, and that's Miles Rice. Do you feel like, when you look at him, do you feel like he's still kind of maybe getting his strength back from that cancer battle, and he could even be a better player than what we're seeing right now?
Well, first and foremost, I think he's the most fantastic story in all of college basketball. I don't know if all your listeners are familiar with him, but, battled cancer. I had his game, I think the first or second game of the year. Man, he looked like he hadn't been out 2 years. It didn't even look like he had been out 2 days. I mean, he's been making the most of his opportunity. His game just fell off a little bit production-wise in conference play because I think he's playing against better competition. But that young man is just a fantastic story, and I think a fantastic player. I've heard some announcers saying he's not a true point guard. He's not this. He's not that. He kind of reminds me of Tony Parker. That used to play for the San Antonio Spurs. He has that type of speed. He has that type of ability to get to the basket. He can also shoot the three. And for Washington State to go down there and beat USC, I mean, with him leading the way, this goes to show you what type of player he is. He's a fantastic young guard in the Pac-12 that's going to be a problem for a lot of teams.
And what stands out to you about Isaac Jones, their big man?
Oh, he's just a monster, man. What a steal. He was over there at the University of Idaho, 8 miles away. I can't believe that Kyle Smith found him. I mean, he didn't start in that game against USC. They brought him off the bench for some bizarre reason. I mean, I think he ended up with 26 points. He's a young man that's 6'8", that can score down on the block. He's got great athleticism. But the thing that's most impressive to me about Isaac Jones, he's not out there hunting points. He plays within the team concept. If you're giving him the opportunity to score every time, he will. But if you try to double him, he'll make the right play. Just really, really unselfish and a huge addition for the Washington State Cougars, man. I tell you what, he's been big time.
We're joined by Pac-12 Network basketball analyst Eldridge Rick Hasner for our view from courtside, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser celebrating 25 years of serving Arizona. And then I want to talk a little bit about you, Eldridge, because you and I are the same age. I was a basketball manager for George Raveling at USC, so I saw you play quite a bit during your college career. I did not know you were a teammate or a high school teammate of one of my favorite Trojans of all time, Robert Pack.
Yeah. Yep, me and Robert grew up together, and just some fond memories. Yeah, I used to give it to y'all at USC back in the day, man. Yes, indeed, back in the sports arena. I remember those days. But me and Robert grew up together, and I remember when he was about to make a college choice, it came down between Washington State and USC. And I told him, I said, man, that's a no-brainer. You're gonna be in LA. All the NBA teams come through LA. All the guys work out there. Because he was asking me where he should go, and I wanted him to come to Washington. I kept telling my coach, Andy Russo, to sign him. He's like, nah, we're bringing in somebody else. I was like, man, we need to sign this guy, Robert Pack. I played in high school with him. He can really play. He decided to pass, and Pack goes to USC, and, the rest is history. I think he played 14 years in the NBA. So some good memories there, some good memories of playing against George Raveling teams. Yes, it's just some fun times back when it was the Pac-10.
Yeah. And just you obviously mentioned it at the top, but just as a former athlete, just with the breakup of this conference, how's that affected you?
It sucks, man. It really does, and you keep thinking it's a bad nightmare and that something's going to change. But the closer we get, football just ended. I see all the football announcers posting their stuff about, it's over. Reality hasn't really sunk in for me yet because I still have some games to go. But as I go to these places and I'm there for the last time, I've got 3 more games at Washington State, so this isn't my last game. I got another game at UW, and I think I got to go down to Oregon and Colorado. But I'm gonna miss it. Like I said earlier, I think this may be the last time that Arizona goes to Pullman. I don't see them scheduling a game in the non-conference. They may, but I doubt it. And it's just unfortunate. It's a conference with so much history, so much pride, and if it was all based on football, nobody had a better league than the Pac-12 did this year. I still don't understand it, and to be quite frank, man, I'm pissed because my history is tied to that, and what do you? I mean, Kareem, Walton, talk about all the great football players, just all the great athletes, period. I mean, I played basketball, but just great athletes across the board. And to see the conference gone, as a competitor, man, when I made the NBA, I used to get tired of hearing these guys in the Big Ten talking all the smack that they was talking in the SEC, talking all the smack they were talking in football. So you wanted to beat those leagues. And for our league to fold like it did, it's really, really sad. And whoever dropped the ball, I don't know all the details of what went down, but, man, they should never get another good night of sleep for the rest of their damn life is all I can say. And I know that sounds kind of harsh, but that's how much it meant to me. I had pride when I played in the NBA, and I was the only guy in the league from Washington. One of the few guys from the Pac-12. I really took pride in that. And to see the conference go under, man, it just absolutely sucks, because I used to hear all the time how these guys that played in Indiana and North Carolina were so great. Then I get to the NBA and I'm killing them. I'm like, well, this guy's not that good. It's about exposure, and one of the unfortunate things, we just didn't have the exposure of some of the other leagues that were on ESPN and Fox. We tried to do our own thing with the Pac-12 network, which I thought was great, but we just couldn't get the partnership to get the viewership. And I think that was the dagger at the end.
And your career is very interesting because you did not go right to the National Basketball Association. What was that road like for you in those early years when you were, kind of in the, I guess it was whatever the former G League, the CBA? You played in the CBA and a number of leagues as well overseas. Yeah. What was it like during that 4 or 5 year period when you were trying to get to the NBA and then finally getting there in '95 with the Nuggets?
Well, it was the road less traveled. That's what it was for me, man. And I had a new coach my senior year. I won't mention his name, but I couldn't stand the goddamn guy. And I think he kind of blackballed me a little bit because, in my opinion, I was the second best player in the league behind Gary Payton. Gary got drafted, Trevor Wilson got drafted, and Judd Bushler got drafted. And I thought in college I was a better player than Judd and Trevor. Gary was the man, obviously. We used to go at it a lot. But I didn't get drafted, and to be honest with you, man, I was shocked. So I knew I could play in the NBA because every summer I would work out with the Seattle Supersonic guys here in Seattle. So I knew I could play. And I just tried to hang in there for as long as I could, man, and finally won a championship with the Yakima Sun Kings in the CBA, which is like the G League is now, and was named MVP of the league, and finally got a shot with the Houston Rockets. But it was a tough way to go because I knew I had the ability to play at the NBA level, but I felt like I lost 5 of my best years. When I was young and really athletic and can run and jump. But, God always has a plan, man. It worked out for me. I ended up playing 8 years in the NBA, but I really wish I could have got drafted out of college and had a much longer NBA career.
And doing some great things, on the commentary side. Where can people find you and hear some of your work?
I'm on the Pac-12 network. I'm calling some games for Fox on FS1. Social media, I'm at Eric Kasner on, I guess it's X now, Twitter and Instagram. But, I really enjoy staying connected to the game. I'm looking forward to the Arizona game. That should be a big-time game over there in Pullman. So I'm looking forward to that and being on the call and just, sharing all the history and tradition, even though I hate Arizona, man. I don't think I was 0-9 in my career against them. And I can still see Sean Elliott in my goddamn sleep sometimes and hear that crowd talking about Steve Kerr. So it's not all foul memories when I think about the Wildcats.
0-9. Wow, that's rough.
0-9. 0-9.
That's rough, Eldridge. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's been a long time, but you can see there's still a little salt in the wounds.
Eldridge, hey, we appreciate you taking some time. Have a great call on the game.
Thanks for having me. You guys have a great day.
And that's your view from courtside with Pac-12 Network basketball announcer Eldridge Kasner.
We hope you enjoyed your view from courtside. It was brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, celebrating 25 years serving Southern Arizona. This hour of the Meridian Wealth Management pregame show is brought to you by Advanced Auto Care, Crest Insurance Group, Desert Diamond Casinos, First Chiropractic, Frog & Firkin, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing, the Polston Results Team with Keller Williams, Southern Arizona, Royal GMC Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, the Window Depot.
Hi, Hi, this is Natalie Fernandez of Meridian Wealth Management, and I'd like to invite you to our complimentary retirement income workshop held every Friday at 10 a.m. in our offices at the Williams Center. We discuss the key risks in retirement, how retirement has changed, and how to best plan for success. A recent study showed 60% of retirees would go back and plan differently if they could. We want to help you avoid the would've, could've, should've. Call our office at 719-1433 to reserve your seat today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Broadway in Tucson presents the Rockin' 2023-2024 season featuring 8 blockbuster productions including Disney's Aladdin, The Book of Mormon, Hairspray, and Chicago. Enjoy the Southern Arizona musical premieres of Tina, the Tina Turner musical, Ain't Too Proud, The Life and Time of the Temptations, MJ the Musical, and Mrs. Doubtfire. Secure your choice season tickets today and get the ultimate in flexibility and the lowest prices all season. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your season tickets today.
Tired of dry, itchy skin? Have mineral buildup at every faucet. Ram Plumbing's affordable, green, eco-friendly water softener and alkalized purification systems are built right here in our great state of Arizona and use a fraction of the wastewater as their competitors. Want soft water, non-chlorinated, or the best alkalized drinking water? You can trust Ram Plumbing to be your one-stop shop. Ask about their Water Taste Challenge. 40th year anniversary savings, up to $500 off water systems and $40 off any service. If your plumbing's in trouble, call Ram on the double.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills. Enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Hit the community trails, explore local parks like Saguaro National and Colossal Cave, and mingle at private Diamond Community Park events. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rockin' K is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 11 different model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. Live RockinK.com. Designed by Nature, proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Cantina nachos, strawberry watermelon margaritas, a few zombie kills, and all your favorite sports teams live? When your day calls for some winning, it's time for Dave & Buster's, where you can eat, drink, play, and watch all the sports you want. They've got massive HD TVs, hundreds of the hottest new games, a chef-crafted menu, and an incredible list of beers, wines, and cocktails. So remember, if your day calls for a little victory, a little triumph, a little win, it's probably calling for Dave & Buster's.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
With these scratchers, I'll win enough dough to enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally know how to fix your car right.
Well, then keep on scratching, Eugene.
Good luck on that, guys. But if you need a sure thing in automotive repair or for your next set of tires, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. And this month, pay with your Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care card and get $66 back.
And check out our full page of promotions and discounts at jackfurriers.com.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960, here to get you there.
Hi, it's Floyd, the family man with the family plan. Outdated HVAC systems will drive up your electric bill, drain your wallet, and peace of mind. Save now at Goodfellas with no payments or interest till 2024. Get a 30% federal tax credit, up to $2,000 off qualifying heat pumps. Trust Goodfellas. We're locally owned with thousands of 5-star reviews. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. Visit us at goodfellasac.com to schedule a no-cost estimate.
Do you often worry you left the garage door open? With a LiftMaster garage door opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out.
Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates is your authorized local LiftMaster dealer. Visit KaiserDoor.com for more information.
This is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tipoff Show on the home of Arizona men's basketball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Pella in a hurry. Coast to coast inside. Bounce pass. Love. Reverse lay-in is good.
Drive it hard to the basket when the defense converges. Lay it off to Caleb Love.
Dribble drive right. Bradley into the lane. Stops there. Kick it back to Love. Caleb squares up. Deep three is up and good. Cats on the run. Love quickly down. Stop. Pop a three straight away. He's feeling it now. Caleb Love, 11 second half points. Love will go to retrieve it there. 15 to shoot. Plenty of time. Love now driving the other way to the bucket and slams it down. Nobody got in his way.
Like a heat-seeking missile right down the lane. Tomahawk.
Our pregame show Spotlight on a Cat is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Caleb Love, the senior guard out of St. Louis, Missouri, by way of the University of North Carolina. He currently leads the Wildcats in scoring at 18 points a ball game, third on the team in assists. He has 47 and has a career best assist to turnover ratio of almost 2. Caleb has scored 20-plus points 7 times this season, including each of the first 2 Pac-12 road games at Cal and Stanford. The last Wildcat to do that, the first 2 Pac-12 road games, was DeAndre Ayton back in 2018. Caleb Love, Pac-12 Player of the Week. He is also on the 25-man Wooden Award midseason watch list. No, I'm not a big fan of watch lists, but he's on it and was asked this week about being on those particular lists.
That's great. I'm just blessed, to be, playing at the, level that I am. But, grateful for, my teammates and my coaches supporting me each and every step of the way. And I give all the credit to them because they put me in position to succeed. And so, that's, obviously I'm grateful for that. But like I said, I just give credit to my teammates and my coaches for helping me.
It seemed like maybe a mild surprise you hadn't gotten one in the ACC or anything over the years? Or
yeah,
I don't know if you ever thought about that stuff.
Yeah, I was surprised, but, I think, everything happens for a reason. And, I probably didn't deserve it at the time or wasn't playing at, the level that other players, we had a lot of great players in the ACC the past few years. So, but like I said, I'm just grateful to, to get that award or, that accolade.
Tommy said in the, I think it was the Utah game, he had that spurt there, like 15 points in 6 minutes or whatever it was, and he said he kind of told you to put the brakes on it and chill, like let the other guys take over. What was that like, and what was that from your perspective?
He's been on me about that a lot. He knows that, I can, go on my little runs or whatever, but, just keeping it, the focus on the team and not just trying to let me just take the, over the, the highlights and things like that because, I do want to let my teammates shine and make them look better as we, as the game goes on. But, I'm grateful to have him as a coach and, for him to, just kind of settle me in the game. And I feel like it's better for the team as well just to, not make it all about me.
How would you, along those lines, how would you describe your game? Shooter, maker?
I feel like I'm dynamic and on the court in multiple ways. I can score the basketball, but I also am an improved passer and I'm a willing passer as well. So I think I draw a lot of attention, so I can make plays for my teammates and get downhill. I feel like I'm a downhill player first, a shooter second, and just knowing that I can create that attention makes it easier for my teammates.
That he brought you in and told you to just kind of be part of things, to not have to carry the load or know that you have to get 15 or 20 every night. Does it take a bit of a weight off your shoulders knowing that you got 4 other guys on the floor at all times that can pour it in?
Well, I have the amount of talent that's on this team is second to none. But my teammates, they work their butts off and. We got a lot of guys that can put the ball in the hole, and so that does take the weight off my shoulders. But just knowing that you got teammates and that can do so many things on the floor, it's hard for defense to cover just one player. So just knowing that, obviously I just play within the game and let the game kind of come to me, and just play off my teammates.
Think you really felt comfortable overall in this system?
I think I'm still learning. Obviously, the system is different, but I think I'm kind of getting the hang of it just right about now. This stretch of games that I've been playing, and just knowing that I can kind of get downhill whenever I want, and just making certain plays and playing off my ability to get downhill. And I think just I'm hitting the right stretch at this right moment.
You keep using that word downhill. You're referring to driving to the basket and trying to make plays. Yeah, it seems. I mean, shooting 55% on twos is a huge increase from your previous years. What's different about this year in that ability?
Tommy just enforcing it. He's big on layups. Obviously, that was a struggle for them last year. with the guards, and so he's real big on details and not missing layups in practice and workouts, and my coaches are on me about it as well, and so just constantly taking that serious and making sure that layups are they're layups. So constantly focusing on that and just executing at the right moments.
Along those lines too, you have a good range. What is your range? Because there are times when you come on the line, you stop and pop real quick.
It depends on the night, I guess. It's limitless.
Do you feel like you're more efficient inside because you're getting more opportunities within the offense, the way it's working out, or are you smarter about when to pull up and when to go in, and in what ways is that?
I think just knowing the offense, and knowing where I can pick my spots, and then obviously big old Crevis, they draw a lot of attention with their seals, and they kind of open the lanes up for me, and then having Kylan and Pella, just great shooters as they are, you can't really help off of them, or I'm gonna pass it to them, and they're gonna get a great 3-point shot. So just knowing the offense, knowing how the defense is playing us, really helps.
How do you feel like you are defensively half a season now? I think Coach Lloyd said something about he'll take 15 in good defense from you. Do you feel like you're?
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm, playing at a high level as far as, the defensive effort that I'm putting in. And obviously I need to, be more active on that end probably and, help my teammates a lot more. But I think I'm taking steps each and every game, just taking taking the next steps and getting to that next level on the defensive end as well.
You've been pretty relentless on the ball. Is that a point of pride for you on defense?
Oh, yeah, for sure. One-on-one defense, when the play breaks down and the other team is going ISO, I feel like that's when we need to lock in the most. So yeah, I definitely take pride in one-on-one matchups when just not letting my man score on me.
Everything that happens for a reason. You said that. Do you think back about that? Maybe this was how it was meant to be. That Michigan didn't work out. That something was working in your favor. Do you think back at what if I had still ended up there?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, me being here is a great thing, so I feel like everything does happen for a reason, and just knowing that God doesn't make mistakes, and He put me in this position, and I'm with great teammates and great coaches that help me each and every day. I'm like I said, I'm grateful for it.
You mentioned prior to the season that KJ's helped you a lot on your defensive game. How's he helped you throughout the season as well?
Just his activity. I watch how active he is on the defensive end, off the ball, on the ball. The impact he makes on the game, I don't even think he knows how much of an impact he makes, and he's just a freshman, and his defensive instincts and his how active he is just great for this team, and also great for him because it gets him going too.
Guys, I know you guys didn't really get a long enough break over Christmas, but this week you had the full week off between games. Is that giving you guys an opportunity to reset and get ready to hit the road?
Yeah, for sure. This break was definitely needed. We was on the road for a long time, and then we had our 2 home games that was well needed for us. But just giving our bodies just a little bit of rest before we go on this next stretch of games. And this road, going on the road is tough. Any road game is tough, especially in this league. And so we got to take it very serious, and got to be locked and loaded going up there.
What do you think about facing WSU? Did you catch any of their game last night?
Yeah, I watched the game. They're a good team. They got good pieces around them, and they're well coached. So just going into the game, we know we got to be locked in. We got to make sure if shots not falling, we got to make sure our defense is on point. And so I think that's what our identity is. Our identity is going to be going forward, just playing off our defense. Shots always not going to fall, so we got to have an identity on that end, be relentless, and give our 100% effort.
You guys talked at all about going there. It's kind of a unique place, a little remote. Not that many people live there, so the fans are limited. I mean, what have you heard, or what do you expect anyway?
I heard it's really cold. Yeah. I'm kind of used to it, though, being from St. Louis, but we just got to create our own energy. As far as there not being however many fans it's going to be, but we got to create our own energy and not feed into the it's not going to be as hype as other games and things like that. So just going into the game because we remember that Stanford game. I think that's big for us. Just not taking teams lightly. Going into the game, so we're definitely gonna go in with our hard hats on, and we'll be ready to play.
A couple weeks back, you changed your social media profile to picture of Luke Champion. Just wondering, is there a particular reason for that change?
Manifestation. Obviously, his last name is Champion, and this national championship is, the year 2024. So that's our goal, and that's what we're gonna do. That's why I changed it.
I was wondering, I think you put out some NIL stuff with it, but do you ever get tired of people making fun of your last name or using it in a headline? Or
No, I love my last name. No pun intended.
So you're okay with it?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
All right, anything else for Kevin?
This today's Spotlight on a Cat has been brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
He better love his last name. His name his mama gave him. How about that, though? I saw that on social media. Luke Champion is a senior forward on this team. He wears number 24. And Caleb posting that on his account, Champion 24. That's pretty. That's pretty cool.
Kind of remind me of J-Dub. Remember JT had that tattoo of the Dallas Mavericks trophy before they won it.
Yeah. Yeah, but like before.
Yeah, before. Yeah, had it on there. It's like, we're gonna do this. So.
And I also like they use the term that I've been using all season, downhill. How important downhill is. And I've talked about it a lot with Caleb, but we've seen it also. J-Dub talked earlier in the season. He wanted to see Pelle Larsson be more downhill, and we've seen that. We've also seen that Keyshawn Johnson has the ability to get to the basket downhill when he wants to do that as well. And it's good to hear that that's something that head coach Tommy Lloyd is emphasizing with this team.
Man, if you want to win a championship, man, you have to be able to get easy buckets. Thing I always say is the team that get the most layups win. I know people think it's who gets the most threes, but it's actually who able to get the easiest buckets because usually you get fouled and you get to make shots at the free throw line without the clock even running, and you get the other team best players out of the game because they're in foul trouble. So it's a lot to be rewarded with getting to the basket. One of the worst things you can do is foul somebody while they're shooting, right? So that's why most three-point shooters don't get a lot of free throws. So if you want to be a championship team, you get to that bucket and you make a habit of it.
All right, 520-848-1290 is the phone number here. If you want to get in on the Meridian Wealth Countdown to Tip-Off show, we'd love to talk to you and get your thoughts on Arizona basketball. What do you like about the Wildcats when they're playing downhill? We are streaming this show on a number of platforms, both video and audio. You can catch us on Twitch, Facebook Live, and YouTube at Wildcats Radio 1290. You can catch us on Twitter at Wildcats 1290. Audio streams available at our website, wildcatsradio1290.com. The iHeart app, look for Wildcats Radio 1290. You can also download our app, Wildcats Radio 1290. The app, do that. All kinds of good stuff there. We've got a full recap of last night's women's game, which the ladies lost 73-70 up at Oregon State. We'll get into that in our next segment as well. You'll hear from the head coach of the Arizona women's basketball team, Adia Barnes, her thoughts with Derek Palmer after that tough ball game. We spoke a little bit about it early on. My top takeaway, Helena Puello playing 49 minutes and only taking 3 shots. And scoring 0 points. If you've got top takeaways and you're an Arizona women's basketball fan, I want to hear those from you. You can interact with us on any of those platforms. You can actually go to our app and you can put in your comment. You can text in a comment on our app. You can send us an audio comment on our app. You can even make a video comment and put that in on our app. So head on over right now. Text app to 520-848-1290. I'll shoot you a link so you can download the Wildcats Radio 1290 app. It's the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show, along with Kelvin Efon and J.W. Madden. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
This hour of the Meridian Wealth Management pregame show is brought to you by Blue Whale Car Wash, Caruso's Italian Restaurant, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, The Diamond Store, Goldberg and Osborne, Goodfellas AC, Humane Society of Southern Arizona, Lexus of Tucson, Nova Home Loans, Recon Auto Detail, Ride Now Power Sports Tucson Police Department.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
The Window Depot is proud to sponsor the first look at today's game and would like to invite Arizona Wildcat fans to visit one of their Tucson warehouses. The Window Depot provides over 1,000 in-stock vinyl windows, interior and exterior doors, plus granite and quartz countertops, and a huge selection of custom cabinetry, all at the lowest prices in town. Consider the Window Depot your MVP when it comes to your home improvement needs. Stores are open Monday through Saturday, or order online at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Coach Tommy Lloyd here. Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is the ultimate team when it comes to your home's comfort.
Thinking about replacing your heating and air system? It's free furnace season at Right Way.
These are some of the slowest months of the year. We have equipment in stock and our crews are available.
And to spark business, we're including an 80% furnace absolutely free with the purchase of an air conditioning system.
And if that's not enough, we'll include a Wi-Fi thermostat, 10-year parts and labor warranty, plus we have zero interest financing available.
Call or text 520-200-2422 today or visit rightwayac.com.
Frog and Firkin, a standout among the bars and restaurants in the University area. Frog and Firkin does what very few pubs can, combine a festive atmosphere and great beer with a menu that could stand on its own in any restaurant setting. A sports enthusiast dream with over 30 TVs, 30 beers on tap, and over 100 import and domestic bottles. Daily drink and food specials, and the kitchen is serving until 10. A standout in the University area. Frog and Firkin. Eat local, support local. frogandfirkin.com.
At Standard Restaurant Supply, their vision and number one goal is to improve the lives of their customers and clients by providing a better culinary experience. Standard Restaurant Supply, if it's in a restaurant and not food, they have it. Open to the public, no membership fees, and they offer bulk store pricing without the bulk store purchase. Open Monday through Saturday at 601 South Cherry Avenue or call 885-2345. Standard Restaurant Supply is a proud sponsor of the U of A Radio Sports broadcast.
Do you often worry you left the garage door open? With a LiftMaster garage door opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out.
Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates is your authorized local LiftMaster dealer. Visit KaiserDoor.com for more information.
Desperate buyers have created tremendous opportunity for sellers. If you've had the slightest thought of selling your home, it's time to call Sean Poston with the Poston Results Team at Keller Williams, Southern Arizona. Why choose the Poston Results Team? Past performance, more money in your pocket, over a 65% referral rate, an incredible Poston Results Team staff, and most important, communication, because you and your home matter. The Poston Results Team. When buying and selling really mattered, go to TucsonHomeValues.com. That's TucsonHomeValues with an S.com.
Cantina nachos, strawberry watermelon margaritas, a few zombie kills, and all your favorite sports teams live? When your day calls for some winning, it's time for Dave & Buster's, where you can eat, drink, play, and watch all the sports you want. They've got massive HD TVs, hundreds of the hottest new games, a chef-crafted menu, and an incredible list of beers, wines, and cocktails. So remember, if your day calls for a little victory, a little triumph, a little win, it's probably calling for Dave & Buster's.
The Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show continues on the home of Arizona men's basketball, Wildcats Radio 1290. Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Do things the right way.
All right, still to come in this hour of the show, we're going to recap the Arizona women's basketball games. Double overtime loss to Oregon State last night. The Pac-12 scoreboard will get you up to date and review everything that has happened to this point since Arizona's playing just one game this week. We've got your pests of the game, brought to you by University Termite and Pest Control. Who will be that cougar that will get underneath the skin of the Wildcats today? Best bet straight ahead. The over-under on this one, a little bit lower than we've seen of late. 153 is the over-under on Arizona and Washington State. Matt Chazanow will have your scouting report. He is the voice of the Washington State Cougars. All of that is still to come today here on the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off show. All right, Arizona women's basketball lost last night on the road. It was a great college basketball game on the women's side. It was tight throughout the contest between U of A and Oregon State. These two teams had split last year, and we're gonna play some of the highlights from this game. And this first highlight was really kind of the play that pushed me over the edge. This game was the Wildcats. It was tied late, 52-52, with about a minute and a half to go, and Arizona had the basketball.
Trying to get this one to Puello. Can't get it to her. She's denied by Perova. Get it instead to Martinez straight away. 12 seconds. Handed off now Puello. Thought about a three. Said use the Martinez screen. Get it to Ez. Top of the key. Three is on the way. It's down. Alexis of Tucson. Charity three. Makes it a 5-point game.
As Mary Martinez taking that three-point shot there after she got the ball from Helena Puello, who didn't want to take the three-point shot there. And it was almost like I was sitting on the couch. I was watching the game with my wife, and I said to myself, this is how I formulated it. I said to myself, Esmeri Martinez will take the shots that no one else wants to take on this team. Because it was almost like she said, give me the damn ball, I'll shoot it. And that's what she did. And we need more girls like that in this program. I mean, when the game is on the line, we need people that want the basketball and want to shoot the basketball. And that was like, that was one of those times. And I watched, this is probably the first women's game I've watched in its entirety in a long time. And I just kept watching Helena Puello pass up shot after shot after shot after shot. And that was like the game was on the line there. And she passed up another shot. And I'm thinking to I remember saying to my wife, oh my God, she just passed up another one. And then Mary Martinez took the shot and made it.
Yeah. You know, I just say I disagree with you a little bit right there on that shot, right? Because she hadn't made one. She wasn't confident. And as a veteran player, instead of taking that shot when you know you weren't confident and having to live with it and knowing that you didn't feel like you can make it, making that extra pass ended up being valuable. Because guess what? The girl that she knew would shoot the ball shot it.
Yeah.
Right? So you got to kind of give her assists on that one. Right? But, you know, the first thing I want to say about that game, DK, is this. Adia is coaching her butt off.
Yeah.
I heard some little rumblings, you know, about her and regressing and this and different things I've heard. And when I looked at that game, I was like, how is she keeping them in the game when the other team's big girl has 0 fouls in a whole game? It's an overtime game, right?
Yeah.
0 fouls and shot 18 free throws.
Right.
In which she made 12.
Mm-hmm.
So Adia, I just, you know, only having seven girls because the 8th girl only played, 2 minutes, but only having 7 girls and keeping these young ladies in this game like that, you have to give her a lot of credit.
Well, defense. I mean, the Adia's teams are going to play defense, and when you play defense, like she teaches it, you're going to stay in a lot of games. They forced 13 turnovers in the first half. And 25 for the game. 25 takeaways in this game. Now they got their butts kicked on the board. Like you mentioned, the big girl for Oregon State, that was Regan Beers. She had 20 rebounds. She had 20 points and 20 rebounds.
And watch this, DK. Watch this. You just said something that I hadn't paid attention to.
Yeah.
They forced 25 turnovers, right?
Right.
This is where your depth kill you at, right?
Okay.
Only 8 fast break points.
Yeah.
How did you get a team to turn the ball over 25 times and you only have 8 fast break points? You know how, DK? I've been in this situation. You can't run. You have to walk the ball. I watched them.
Yeah.
It looked like kind of back when Aubrey was playing, right, where you really controlled the pace of the game, and she's controlling the pace of the game, trying to give her girls a rest, trying to make the defense have to, work a little bit more down there instead of just playing more offense against, her tired young ladies. But, yeah, 25 turnovers. You only got 8 fast break. Now, when I said that, Oregon State, can you believe, had 0 fast break points? So they were trying to control the pace as well, right?
Uh-huh.
They didn't want to let Adia's girls get out in fast break. And so that meant that they must have been really getting back, trying to keep from, letting them get out and get some easy buckets, because I can't believe with Gilbert on the team and what's her name? Jada Williams.
Yeah.
That they didn't have more than 8 fast break points. But it looked like Oregon State said, you know what? We've lost to this team several times. We're going to get all 5 back, 4 back especially, besides the big girl Reagan Beers. We're going to get 4 back, and we're just going to have to force them to score over us. That's what it looked like.
Well, and it was only if they had a clear, like there was the one play earlier as Mary had a clear pass. She picked it off, had a clear pass, and took it to the basket. If it wasn't like a clear situation like that, you're right. They were kind of backing it up and trying to play slow and get into their offensive set. So Arizona had a 5-point lead in this game with 35 seconds to go, but Oregon State would tie the game to force overtime.
Coming out between the circles goes Von Oelhoffen, accelerates to the right, trying to get to the block, kick it back out. Gardner's going to catch and shoot a three-pointer. The short, rebounds tipped, back outside Gardner, has that shot blocked, rebounds again knocked around. Von Oelhoffen going to try to race to the three-point line, can't do it. Now it's going to kick back to her. She's going to try one from the wing, that's down. Wildcats allow 3 looks at the basket. One of those a little unfair because it was a blocked shot and it was just a loose ball.
15 offensive rebounds for the Oregon State Beavers. As we mentioned, they out-rebounded the Wildcats by 18 in this game. That was a backbreaker because you just couldn't grab a rebound. If you grab a rebound there, you win the ball game, and you just couldn't, and then you give up a game-tying 3 with 3 seconds to go.
Yeah, Beers again. 20 boards. 20 boards. Grown woman, basically playing against our young
sophomore,
freshman.
I think.
Yeah, well, I don't care what year you is in school. You look at it. They showed a piece on her family and her brothers and everything, and her other sisters and whatnot. So she come from an athletic family. I think both of her parents played college basketball, but she was just a beast, and her coach went to her, and it was just tough, on our young big girls trying to deal with her.
Wildcats, though, got the ball with 3 seconds to go and had a chance to get a win.
Bay, Martinez, and then on the baseline, Williams and Gilbert. As it's to Kaylin, she's got a little bit of an opportunity, spinning around. She's going to put that one up on the follow-away. It just won't fly. So because the Cats couldn't get an offensive rebound twice, they're going to have to go into overtime for the second time in as many games.
Spun out of the rim. It was a good look again. Now, they've gotten some good looks at the end of these games, the last 3, which have all been close. So we would go to overtime. Jada Williams would have a chance in overtime to give the Wildcats the victory.
Puello starts moving to the right side, hand it off to Williams. Now get it to Gilbert on the weave. Sets a screen with Martinez as they're trying to force it out of her hand. Rolls to Martinez, 2 seconds. Williams with 1 second to shoot, puts a 3 up, but it's off the front rim. Oh, that looked good.
So we go on to the second overtime. Wildcats get down 73-70, and they would have one last shot to try to tie this game and force a third overtime.
Williams is going to inbound. Puello and Martinez at the elbows. Jones and Gilbert at the blocks. Ball's inbounded to Gilbert, right back to Jada. Being chased by Hunter, 9 seconds. He's going to step to the right, try a three-pointer that's off the back rim. Nobody was underneath the rebound. And that's how it's going to end.
73-70, the final. Your freshman, in the overtime sessions. Again, you needed a 3 there to tie it. She's probably your best 3-point shooter. That's a lot to put on a freshman, though, in both those situations to try to win a ball game for you.
Yeah, no, it's tough. And again, but, that's why Jada's here. She want to take those shots. She want to be in those moments. I'm sure she believed that she was going to make those shots. But, again, another thing I look at is that, the depth just killing you. They played 9 people with significant minutes.
Yeah.
And it wears you down. I saw Jada, the defense that they be playing, full court. I cannot believe J-Dub. Do you hear me, brother?
I do.
They're playing full court D with no subs.
I know.
I'm like, Dia, get
Crazy.
back. You know what I mean? I can't, but she has her reason because, hey, she turned them over 25 times, so she know what she's doing, right? She said, hey, let's get up in these girls a little bit. They'll turn the ball over, and it'll put us in an opportunity to win the game. That's a great coaching decision, but you have to also, with that, your girls are getting wore out.
Yeah.
They're getting, and she didn't expect to be in a double overtime game. Okay, but you end up in a double overtime game and your girl was just worn out. I mean, to lose that game by 3, we always say tip your hat. I take my hat off, my shirt, whatever, because to play against a team with that much depth and still be able to be in the game is just, hey, you have to just give her credit for just coaching her butt off.
I've seen a few press conferences this year, and I always laugh because someone in the media will ask how important fitness, right? is when you're down a few players and you're playing that style, guys. And I just chuckle. I'm like, well, you can't do that, Kelvin. I mean, you cannot play that Adia Barnes style of defense and press like that unless you're in incredibly good shape. So they may be, a lot of times it's resting on defense. They're resting on, you're talking about walking the ball up and no fast break points, all that stuff. Like, they're really getting after it defensively because that's the way they got to do it. But, man, tip your cap because – with that few ladies in the roster right now and still going after it and 49 minutes, 43 minutes, all the numbers you're looking at from that box score, just an incredible effort and going after it, full court defense.
And one thing I will say her name one more time because I don't want to mess it up. Pueyo?
Pueyo.
I can say that. Pueyo. 49 minutes, 48, 44. I'm going 49. DK, knowing you have to play that many minutes, you have to give up something. You have to give up something.
All right.
You have to give up something. And
you trying to sell me on this here?
No, because I wish there was a way she could just figure out to throw up some shots. I do. But she's a winner.
Yeah.
And she feels like her role right now isn't necessarily to get shots up. She we're gonna give these shots to Gilbert. We're gonna give them to Martinez, even Cunningham, and I'm just gonna be the glue. I'm gonna be the Pella Larson. I'm gonna be, the Keyshawn Johnson, and just make everything go. And that's her personality anyway. I've watched her over the years. The teams that she was on, she didn't necessarily have to be the most aggressive person. And now she's saying, you know what, to put us in the best opportunity to win, because there's no way you only take 3 shots. She missed a few, so she right there, I guarantee you, from playing ball, she felt like, I don't have it. To me, you take 10 shots before you figure that out. That's to me, so you can count your percentage. Because what's your percentage on missing 3, J-Dub? I can't count that, really. I can't judge whether or not I had a good game shooting or not, only taking 3 shots, okay? So, but again, when I'm looking at that and them in that position, I can't say she didn't do the right thing because they almost won. They almost won. I mean, they almost won. And yes, I wish she could have had 10 points on here. But again, she put all her energy toward defense and distributing.
Yeah, and that's been the conversation and the narrative around her for her entire career here. She defends, she facilitates.
Well, I was going to say,
does all
Helena
of
Pueyo
those
is
things.
26th in the nation in steals per game.
Yeah, she does all those things, and we know that. We know, and we praise her for doing that.
Yeah.
But I'll go back. You still got to at least score something.
I think the whole thing, the first segment, second segment about being a threat, being a threat is important. That whole TJ thing, being a threat at any position, Kelvin, because again, if you're talking 4-on-5 defense, that's a problem. So I didn't have a chance to watch a lot of that game. If she's passing up wide open looks, you know what I'm saying? Even if it's inner comfort.
Yes. I mean, there's no way you play 49 minutes without passing up looks. So I'm just
of course.
I watched the game, but she's definitely passed. I'm sorry for being interrupted, but yes.
Yeah.
She passed
But I mean,
up.
if you're not comfortable from deep, that's fine. But you get into like 10, 12 feet or whatever, wherever that spot's at, there has to be a spot on the court where you can get comfortable, Kelvin. For a fifth-year senior.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm with DK. I didn't have a chance to watch that whole game last night. I didn't sit on the couch and watch that whole game. But when you're a fifth-year senior and you have opportunities to put that ball up, when you have an open look because the offense has gotten you that, or even those like secondary fast breaks, talking about 26 steals, some of those opportunities where the defense is scrambling, Kelvin, there's got to be a little 10-footer in there or something. But yeah, it's just about confidence, keeping confident in your shot, and just keep putting it up.
All right. Wildcats ladies will take on the Oregon Ducks on Sunday. You'll hear that game right here on Wildcats Radio 1290. It begins at 1 p.m. Our coverage at 12:45. 520-848-1290 if you want to get in on any of that Wildcat women's basketball talk as well. We'll take a break here. We'll come back. We'll get you your Pac-12 scoreboard and a whole lot more. It is the Meridian Wealth Management countdown to tip-off for men's basketball. The fellows are in Washington State today up on the Palouse to take on the Cougars. Tip-off coming up at 4 o'clock with J.W. Madden and Kelvin Ifan. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown and Tip-Off Show on the home of Arizona men's basketball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hi, this is Natalie Fernandez-Lee, President of Meridian Wealth Management. As a fiduciary investment firm, our clients have trusted us to guide them down their financial paths for decades. Whether you are an individual or family, business, foundation, or nonprofit, we are committed to your long-term goals and financial futures. We are proud supporters of the Tucson community and all that makes our city so special. Visit online at meridianwealthllc.com to learn more about Meridian.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
Just my next greatest idea ever.
Playing the lottery?
That's right, Doug. With all my winnings, I can enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally fix your car right. No more disasters, Doug. Your luck is about to change.
Well, then keep on scratching, Eugene.
Good luck, Eugene. But if you need a sure thing in automotive repair or for your next set of tires, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care.
You know, we've guaranteed our tires in every auto repair since 1960.
With more than 35 Top Shop awards and our Partners Network 3-year nationwide warranty, you can count on Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care.
And check out this month's special savings.
Pay with your Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care card and get $66 back. And check out the full page of promotions, discounts, and coupons at jackfurriers.com.
So call ahead, make an appointment online, or just stop by any of our 14 area locations.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
Tired of dry, itchy skin? Have mineral buildup at every faucet. Ram Plumbing's affordable, green, eco-friendly water softener and alkalized purification systems are built right here in our great state of Arizona and use a fraction of the wastewater as their competitors. Want soft water, non-chlorinated, or the best alkalized drinking water? You can trust Ram Plumbing to be your one-stop shop. Ask about their Water Taste Challenge. 40th year anniversary savings, up to $500 off water systems and $40 off any service. If your plumbing's in trouble, call Ram on the double.
Here's an important message from University Termite and Pest Control. The weather is getting cooler here, and so rodents will be seeking alternative housing. Do you need a professional? Call University Termite and Pest Control, 886-4146. They've been serving Tucson since 1974. You can be assured University Termite and Pest Control will keep you pest-free using the most responsible products and application methods. 28 school districts, 3 hospitals, 2 colleges, 1 university, and thousands of homeowners trust University Termite and Pest Control. You can too. Call University Termite and Pest Control today at 886-4146 or go to bepestfree.com.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rock & Kay. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills. Enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Explore natural open space, a network of connecting trails, and a community park within the Vail School District. Visit Lennar's 2 communities in Rock & Kay with home savings up to $35,000 and limited time interest rate and closing cost incentives on select move-in ready homes. Live RockandK.com. Designed by Nature, proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
This summer, savings is the ultimate drive.
The road has been long, and now you're here. One incredible family.
You've saved so many families so much.
I want that opportunity.
Savings and Selection 100. Now playing at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Go to O'Reilly.com. Call 747-8000 or test drive one on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Find new roads at O'Reilly Chevrolet. More than a great price.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Coach Tommy Lloyd here. Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is the ultimate team when it comes to your home's comfort.
Thinking about replacing your heating and air system? It's free furnace season at Right Way.
These are some of the slowest months of the year. We have equipment in stock and our crews are available.
And to spark business, we're including an 80% furnace absolutely free with the purchase of an air conditioning system.
And if that's not enough, we'll include a Wi-Fi thermostat, 10-year parts and labor warranty, plus we have zero interest financing available.
Call or text 520-200-2422 today or visit rightwayac.com.
This is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show on the home of Arizona men's basketball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Tried to force it inside, stolen away by Boswell. Lead pass ahead to Larson on the run. Pella lays it up and good.
That was a double bounce pass from 70 feet. Kylan Boswell connects with Pella Larson. Timeout, Buffaloes.
I don't know. We've had quite a few plays, I think, this year that are going to stand up for play of the year. We've got the Kylan Boswell pass there. We've got the key shot at the Caleb Love poster dunk at California being one of those plays. We finally had a chance to hear from Tommy Lloyd on that pass by Kylan Boswell.
No, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, we know how hard this is, and we had, our moment at Stanford, and we very well could have another moment. And
thank God he completed it. We've never worked on a double left-handed bounce pass from 70 feet, and we never will.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a no, yes, Kelvin. I mean, I was standing there in the concourse, and I was looking right down the pass. I could tell that he put that little outside English on it, the opposite side English on it. And I didn't know about the second bounce. I saw Pella get up a little, his step, when he saw the pass coming, I saw Pella get a little bit get up going with his feet. But it's one of those deals where, I mean, creativity, Kelvin. Like, that's something that you got to have full confidence that you're going to be able to make that get through there.
Yeah, and as a head coach, the only thing you worry about with that is how many more he's going to try, and are they going to work? And I saw him do one in the next game where he jumped up and he tried to throw it between his legs or something. Yeah. I think it hit off his leg and went out of bounds or something like that. But that's what you worry about when a guy makes a pass like that. 3 or 4 more are coming that might not go your way.
I think you don't want to stifle creativity, but I remember when Coach Kerr took over with Golden State, and in his first 3-4 years, Steph was averaging 7 turnovers a game, guys. I mean, he was throwing balls behind his back. You ever see the early years that Steph was up there? And Kerr was just keep it simple, make those passes, sure, but obviously the whole goal, Kelvin, is getting that ball where it needs to go. So if you want to get fancy with behind the back double bounce pass off the offhand and all that kind of stuff, if it feels good and if it works, that's fine. But don't do that as a goal. You're not trying to get on a highlight. You're just trying to get the ball where it needs to go.
Well, Kylan Boswell, and we've kind of talked about the struggles that he had. Here are some of the numbers on that. In 6 November games, he averaged 14 points and 4 assists while shooting 56% from the floor and 59% from 3. In December, in the 7 games the Wildcats played, that shooting average of 56 went down to 32. The three-point percentage of 59 went down to 26. And the scoring average of 14 went down to 9. He still, though, in December, handed out 4 assists per ball game. One of the things I've talked about on the show with you guys was the pressure that comes with being the point guard at Point Guard U, and he is just 18 years old. And Tommy Lloyd this week was asked about just that, about how Kylan is handling the scrutiny of being the point guard at Arizona.
I mean, I guess I don't pay attention to the scrutiny, so I wouldn't be a good comment about that. But Kylan's been good. He's been good, and he's that doesn't mean there haven't been there's been some ups and there's been some downs. But I think you could when you go through a fine tooth comb with everybody's performance over a season, you're going to find those. So, all in all, I think he's good. I mean, I like where Kylan's at. I think we're trending in the right direction. We need to keep fighting for those small gains, those small daily wins, those small, winning those one-on-one battles in a moment. That might not be one-on-one the way you think of it. That might mean just guarding your yard, the possession on defense, pressuring the ball and not getting beat, winning all those. Might be coming off a ball screen, just making the right play and just stacking those up over and over again. But I think Kylan's in a good way. And I'm looking forward to watching him continue to progress.
And I thought it was interesting, something else that we heard in our conversation with Eldridge Rukasner from the Pac-12 Network and what he said about, the struggles of Kylan Boswell. And he said, it's important for his veteran teammates and talking about guys like Pella Larson and Keyshawn Johnson and Caleb Love, it's important for them to let him know that they've got confidence in him when he's not playing well. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number if you want to get on the program. Let's take a look at what is happening around college basketball.
The Pac-12 scoreboard is brought to you by Mesquite Valley Growers. Mesquite Valley Growers. Real growers, real experience, real nursery.
All right, let's go back to a lot of games have happened already. We haven't even played this week. Let's go back to Wednesday. The two games on Wednesday, we've spoken about one of them because it involves the team Arizona's playing today. Isaac Jones scored 26 points and grabbed 11 rebounds for Washington State in their 72-64 win over the USC Trojans. One bad thing that came out of that was Isaac Collier for the Trojans injured his wrist, and he is going to be out for at least a minimum of 3 to 4 weeks with that. So that's a big loss and a big player we will not see when the Trojans come to town next week. The other game on Wednesday night was California knocking off Colorado 82-78. Eddie Lampkin Jr. had 22 and 11 in that ball game, but it was Jalen Tyson with 30 for the Golden Bears as they handed the Buffaloes a third consecutive defeat. Then there was the game on Thursday night. Utah 90, UCLA 44. What do we think about that?
Man, that's it's almost unbelievable. When you think about a UCLA team, but right now, man, with all the transfers and you think about a guy like Cronin, I don't know how well he's doing in that area as far as dealing with the, getting a lot of transfers because he's not a guy that really kind of believes in that. So what ends up happening is now you have nothing but young guys, and you're going against teams that have grown men that have transferred from everywhere to team up together to try to win. So you got to go through growing pains, and that's what they're going through.
I'll say this. Victor Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren guys are both rookies in the NBA this year. And Jaime Jaquez Jr. is getting talk about being amongst that Rookie of the Year type of thing. That's how well he's playing out there with Miami. So Cronin is a very good coach. They'll figure it out. Like Kelvin said, a lot of young guys there. But the success they had over that stretch of the last 3-4 years, Tiger Campbell, Jaime Jaquez Jr., and all those other guys. I mean, just so many seniors on this last year's Bruins team, especially fifth-year seniors. They're just trying to figure it out, but it just tells me, Kelvin, how much they relied upon those guys, especially Jaime Jaquez Jr. Solved a lot of problems for that Bruins team over these past 2-3 years.
Washington became the first team to beat Arizona State 82-67 in Seattle. Severe Wheeler, 24 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists in that ball game. And Stanford continues to play well. They go on the road to Corvallis and get an overtime win over the Beavers, 88-84. Our guy, Maxime Reynard, 18 points and 13 rebounds in that ball game. No games on Friday night, so we back to Saturday, and I think there might be a game or two on Sunday. Today's schedule, there are 3 games on the docket, including the one that we are a part of. Arizona, the 8th-ranked team in the country, at Washington State. The Wildcats at 3-1. The Washington State Cougars are 2-3 on the season. California is on the road at Oregon, so the Oregon Ducks now are the lone remaining undefeated team in conference play at 4-0, and they will welcome in the Golden Bears. 12-3 are the Oregon Ducks on the season. That is a 6 o'clock tip-off after our game on the Pac-12 network. And then the other game of the day will be out in Boulder, Colorado. USC will take on the Buffaloes. Both of those teams are 2-3 in conference play. Then there are actually two games on the docket as well tomorrow. Stanford will host Utah. Both those teams 3-2. And then it'll be Washington on the road at UCLA. Washington State obviously went down and played USC earlier this week. The Huskies will go down and play the Bruins on Sunday. Those will be your two games that day. In terms of the top 25, let's take a look at what's on the docket for today, see if there are any finals on the board as of yet across the country. And not a lot of games actually on I'm looking at Saturday. That's why only 3 games came up. Games in progress right now. This is a game involving 2 top 10 teams, Big 12 currently and Big 12 future. Oklahoma is trailing at Kansas. The 9th-ranked Sooners are down 14 late in the second half to Kansas. I would imagine, gentlemen, Kansas, we believe, will be the number 1 team in the country come Monday, with 1 and 2 following earlier this week. Yeah. So Kansas will be the number 1 team in the country. Finals on the board. Let's see if there are any upsets. Does not appear. Tennessee knocks off Georgia 85-79. Carolina, a big win over Syracuse. Wisconsin takes care of Northwestern, and Creighton gets a 1-point win over St. John's 66-65. But Rick Pitino's crew continues to play pretty good basketball there in the Big East this season. That's your scoreboard for right now. Let's take a timeout here. In the next hour, we're going to hear from Matt Chazanow. He is the voice of the Washington State Cougars, and we'll hear from him, get the scouting report on this club that the Wildcats are going to face, as well as we'll have our keys to the game coming up as we take you right up to network coverage beginning at 3 o'clock and tip-off at 4 in Pullman between the Wildcats and the Washington State Cougars. Meridian Wealth Management, countdown to tip-off with Kelvin Efon and J.W. Madden. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
That's been the Pac-12 Scoreboard, brought to you by Mesquite Valley Growers. Mesquite Valley Growers. Real growers, real experience, real nursery. This hour of the Meridian Wealth Management pregame show is brought to you by Blue Whale Car Wash, Caruso's Italian Restaurant, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, The Diamond Store, Goldberg and Osborne, Goodfellas AC, Humane Society of Southern Arizona, Lexus of Tucson, Nova Home Loans, Recon Auto Detail, Ride Now Power Sports Tucson, Tucson Police Department.
True Wildcat fans know that when you're looking for the best place to watch all the big games on big screens, drinking cold beer and having the best food, all paths lead to Desert Diamond. Bet on your Wildcats and all your favorite teams 24/7 on our easy-to-use kiosks. Come chill on our comfy couches and build your best bet at Arizona's best bet, the Desert Diamond Sportsbook and Bar.
An enterprise of the Thana Autumn Nation.
Problem gambling? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Desert Diamond Casino is licensed in Arizona.
Well, it's that time of year. You dress the kids up for the holiday parties, and they hate it. You dress everybody up for the annual holiday card picture, and, well, everybody hates that. You even dress the turkey, and we're pretty sure he's not happy about that. This year, dress up your yard in time for the holidays. Call Dorado Rockin' Materials, and we promise there will be no complaints. Make your yard beautiful and worry-free with their personal service and convenient delivery times. Dorado Rockin' Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Hi, this is Tim Couch, retired NFL quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, partner at Meridian Wealth Management, and proud member of Meridian's Tucson Advisory Business Council. It's my favorite time of year, college football season. I've always been a proud Wildcat. As our firm has grown in Tucson with Ruben and Natalie Fernandez, I now cheer on 2 Wildcats every year. My alma mater of Kentucky, of course, and our U of A Cats. Here's to a great football season, and go Cats.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
With the new year, we usually make resolutions to be healthier. Water quality in your home can help you achieve healthy living goals. I'm Ron Arenas with Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. We offer solutions to filter the water in your house that you drink, shower, and cook with every day. For clean and healthy water, call 520-440-4069.
The Window Depot is proud to sponsor the first look at today's game and would like to invite Arizona Wildcat fans to visit one of their Tucson warehouses. The Window Depot provides over 1,000 in-stock vinyl windows, interior and exterior doors, plus granite and quartz countertops, and a huge selection of custom cabinetry, all at the lowest prices in town. Consider the Window Depot your MVP when it comes to your home improvement needs. Stores are open Monday through Saturday, or order online at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
At Nova Home Loans, we believe everyone deserves the opportunity to enjoy the independence that comes with home ownership. Whether you're a first-time home buyer who needs down payment assistance, have less than perfect credit, or looking to refinance, Nova has a variety of home loan programs for your unique situation. Visit novahomeloans.com or call 800-955-9125 to learn more. Not a commitment to lend or extend credit. Rates and available loan programs are subject to change without notice. NMLS 3087, BK 0902429, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Coach Tommy Lloyd here. Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is the ultimate team when it comes to your home's comfort.
Thinking about replacing your heating and air system? It's free furnace season at Right Way.
These are some of the slowest months of the year. We have equipment in stock and our crews are available.
And to spark business, we're including an 80% furnace absolutely free with the purchase of an air conditioning system.
And if that's not enough, we'll include a Wi-Fi thermostat, 10-year parts and labor warranty, plus we have zero interest financing available.
Call or text 520-200-2422 today or visit rightwayac.com.
The Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show continues on the home of Arizona men's basketball, Wildcats Radio 1290. Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Do things the right way.
Final hour of the program. Still ahead, we'll give you our pest of the game, brought to you by University Termite and Pest Control. Who is going to be that cougar that's going to get underneath the Wildcats' skin or maybe claw up on us today? Best bets, Arizona, a 9-point favorite in Pullman today, and the over-under at 153. As we check in with the Desert Diamond Sportsbook, we'll have those coming up for you. J-Dub still holding the lead on the standings chart. Matt Chazanow is going to join us in this hour. He'll tell you everything you need to know about the Washington State Cougars, keys to the game, starting lineups, and all of that is straight ahead. Right now, though, if you're watching on one of our many video streams, I'm going to go to what Brian Jeffries, the voice of the Wildcats, posted a little while ago. And here you go. This is, wait, that's not the page I wanted there. Let's go to this page right here. Yeah, that is frozen over pool furniture, ladies and gentlemen. Frozen over pool furniture, wherever they are staying.
Yeah,
up in
seen that picture before.
Up on the Palouse. It is cold, and there's a lot of bad weather in Oregon. So we hope everything goes well with the women's basketball team is still up in Oregon. They've got to take, I think, the bus down to practice at Matthew Knight Arena today, and there was supposed to be freezing rain and all of that. So travel was going to be somewhat treacherous. So we send our hopes out that their travels are well as well down there. But yeah, frozen over pool furniture, nothing like that on a road trip up to the great Northwest.
I never seen anywhere that gets as much snow as the east of the Cascades. Like, because I was in Bend for 3 years, and that's like Mount Bachelor and those kind of areas out there. And I think it was like 250 inches of base one year, something like that. But I never seen. I've been through the Wasatch Mountains and a lot of mountains that are famous for how good Park City, like how famous their snow is. But something about the east side of the Cascades, and especially when a big front comes through, they just get dumped on. There's so much snow up there.
Yeah, I mean it can come down for sure. But Brian did say that even with all that snow, the hot tub is still open for business. So
we played basketball in the snow up in Oregon.
No, really?
Yeah. And like a dusk snow, we called it radar ball because you couldn't really see the rim. So it's kind of like that instinct you got where Kelvin, you kind of know, you got an idea about how far away it is. Yeah. But you can't really see it clearly because there's snowflakes falling. That was a good time.
All right. Let's hear a little bit more from Tommy Lloyd and his team as they head up to Pullman today to take on the Washington State Cougars.
We don't really.
Tommy Lloyd this week talking about his offense and the fact that he likes to try to have an offense that is as balanced as possible.
We don't really tilt our offense in one direction for any one player. We want to make great decisions to play great team basketball, and we have talented players, so they can do some stuff on their own when they get the opportunity. And our bench has been really great. I mean, those three guys have been steady off the bench for us. They really are changing the game, and it might not be scoring and stuff like that, but they're really getting in the game. And, KJ and JB, Jaden, plus minus can be a interesting stat if you're really dissected, but man, he comes out on the high side of it a lot. For somebody that doesn't like score a lot of points, so that's something we gotta really drill down on, and I feel really comfortable with him out on the floor.
I don't think they keep the plus minus for the season. That would be interesting, though. We obviously that's a game stat more so than anything else. But talking about Jaden Bradley and what he's added to this team, and in the 19 minutes that he's averaged for this ball club, again, not a lot of scoring, as he mentioned, just 5 points for Jaden Bradley, but he's got 27 assists. And he's only turned the ball over 18 times, so a positive assist to turnover ratio, and he's got 14 steals. So he's right up there double digits at the top of the pack in steals on this team. So Jaden Bradley in his first year here, coming over as a sophomore, continues to make his presence felt when he's out there for the time that he gets out on the floor.
Yeah, man, he's just solid, man. He's a guy that you don't have to worry about whether or not he's playing hard, whether or not he's hunting three-point shots. He's just out there doing whatever it takes to help the team win. He's moving the ball, and when he does take a shot, it's usually 15-footer or a layup. So it's a great shot that gives your defense a chance to get back on defense. And so I think he's just the type of guy that you don't worry about hurting your team.
We mentioned what Caleb said earlier about Tommy kind of really driving home that he wants his guards to have that ability to penetrate, and Tommy elaborated on that this week.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're, overall we're a stronger penetrating team this year versus last year. A couple years ago we were a really strong, penetrating team when you had, Dalen and Ben and Pella out there, and, Zoo could penetrate his own way. So, yeah, I mean, all in all, but a lot of it's just based off of your personnel. And, it doesn't mean one way is necessarily better than the other. It's just kind of how we're built this year. And we have guys that have, shown a propensity for being able to get some momentum, get downhill, and make good team plays.
Interesting. We were kind of we've in the Caleb conversation earlier, he was talking about a little bit about that and how Tommy had kind of pulled him back a little bit in that Utah game once he got going. Said, "Hey, you've gotten us to this point. Now let's try to maybe get some of your teammates involved." And Tommy also elaborated on that conversation that he had with Caleb during the game about hunting shots and keeping his teammates involved.
He and I have obviously, those conversations are preloaded. We've had them before, those moments. And so when you get in those moments, it's not that I don't want him to be aggressive, but, there's probably a reason he got hot. He probably had some good shots he took advantage of. He probably got a few layups, probably got mixed in a free throw or two. So when a guy's, on a roll, I don't think you need to double down and go all in on more difficult things. And so that's the message. Just keep the game simple. Your teammates are good players. Let's make sure they're getting good shots too. you did a great job helping us get some separation. Yeah. Now, if you get a great shot, by all means, let it rip. But doesn't mean I need him pulling up from half court just to test it. And so he understands that. I mean, he's got a great maturity about him, and so yeah, those are easy conversations.
I would assume, Tommy, that would be maybe a handful of times you've ever done that. Maybe once, first time.
I don't know. I'd have to go back and think. I mean, I was on the bench with a guy named Adam Morrison, and. Well, I don't know. I'm sure we had a lot of those conversations. He might not have listened. But I've just always been a firm believer when you get on a roll, that's a good thing. And I understand, kind of, being in that moment, being in that zone, whatever you want to call it. But I think the best way to give yourself the greatest margin for error and staying in that zone is to make great simple plays, not try more difficult things.
How hard, Kelvin, is that? Because you've been on the court a lot of times when guys get a heater going, and there's something to be said about heat check is a thing, but taking that personally, there's been some guys at the U of A over time who maybe when they see one or two go in, or they get scored on the other end and they come back down and take a shot that's not necessarily within the offense. Is that, obviously we're talking about something completely different. Coach is talking to Caleb about getting his teammates involved. But, Kelvin, how fine is that line, right, between keeping that streak going and just getting everybody else involved?
Man, it's tough a lot of times because as a competitor, you feel like, man, I'm doing what it takes to help us win. I'm going for it because nobody else is. And then it also sucks because when you get it going, your teammates are feeding the ball back to you. So you just kind of stay aggressive. But I know what coach is coming from is here, J-Dub. When you bring those guys in for 1 year, the bad thing with that is it could ruin your team. What that means, if this guy come in and just takes all the shots, the Boswells and the some of the younger guys on the team, they don't get a chance to develop as well. They don't get a chance to develop for the rest of the season when you're going to need them come playoff time or come Pac-12 tournament. So even though you kind of got it going, you go up to him as a coach, especially when you got a veteran guy, because usually a veteran guy could understand it a little bit better. You go to him and say, hey, look, for the betterment of our team to be able to have a chance to really win a championship, okay, things are going well right now. I need you to, pass up a few shots and kind of get other guys' confidence going because we're going to need them for the long haul. Your confidence is already there. Love confidence is already there. So coach don't have to worry about that being too fragile. But I just feel like, man, it's coach looking for a championship. Right, because that's the tough conversation, right, J-Dub, to tell a guy to bag off a little bit. But in a lot of times, what you control that with a team like this. I'm sorry for being long-winded, but I'm saying this. With a team like this, it's tough because there's no designated offense for nobody, right? And so when it gets in your hands sometime and you kind of got it going, you just go because I don't have to run a certain play to get a certain guy a shot, right? And I just feel like with that being said, that's why coach have to have that conversation because it ain't like he's calling plays for somebody else. When Caleb Love, because this is what you usually do. When a guy you don't want to shoot has the ball, you call a play. And if he don't run that play, you take him out. You're like, look, I just called this play because I wanted such and such to get the ball. Ballo on the high low. Because you're already going. Ballo is getting bored of rebounding and playing defense. He want to touch the ball. Let's get Keyshawn a shot, right? Because I got to keep these guys happy or somewhat thinking that we're trying to use them as well through the offense. So, I see where coach is coming from on that. But yeah, that is a tough conversation for a player.
I think real quick, going back to that game at Cameron, if you think about Love didn't have a heater going, but he was definitely effective down the stretch. He, with about a minute left, drew defenders, found Keyshawn Johnson for an and one at the rim that was maybe the game-defining play. Now, Caleb Love is gonna get hot. Caleb Love's got more confidence than anybody else on the team. However, those times, Kelvin, when you do have it going, and then the defense has to step up and give you a little bit more attention, when you choose to find your teammate on a cut, when you choose to find your teammate open and as opposed to shooting over a double team,
right.
That's what being a good teammate is.
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't matter if you scored 16 straight points. Just make the right read, make the right basketball play, and that's what this team is all about.
And I said this last thing. I think even the bigger thing was when you are a shooter like Love is, what you don't want him doing, as Coach said, is taking that deep deep three, right? Because now you haven't looked at nobody else. It could be a guy wide open for a shot, and you're not looking for him at all, and that's when it becomes an issue. And so that's where I think coaches really talk. If he go to get layups every time, I bet he won't say nothing, DK. If you go get a layup every time, but it's just that deep shot where you could have maybe got that shot later if we've been hearing forever, right, J-Dub? You could have got that shot later in the clock, right? Move the ball around a little bit. Why take that shot? So, but if every time he attacks and get in the paint and score, I bet Coach would never call him off.
Well, he had, he got going. He had those 2 threes. I think one of the things he's talking about was he kind of stopped and took that one real deep 3. And then after that conversation, his next 2 plays were in the paint.
There we go. I have no problem with that shot.
Right.
But that deep 3 sometimes could come off as a little selfish. It could come off as a little selfish because it's like, hey, it's about me right now. I'm taking this. I can make this. But if you make it, okay, cool. But if you miss it, we need to talk.
We've seen Kylan do that a few times. Like when you're taking that 25-footer with 20 seconds on the shot clock because you made your last one, it's like that dagger. You're trying to take the heart out of the team. You're trying to demoralize them and lift your own guys up by, hey, we're just rolling right here. It's that run of death or whatever. But there's time and place. And I just think I think on a team that you struggle scoring, that's fine.
Yeah.
But on a team where you're actually very efficient scoring, one of the best scoring teams in the country, just try to find the best shot you can within the offense.
But then he also, Tommy Lloyd did talk about this week. He said he got a little perturbed when Caleb ran the play to Umar to get him his 1,000th point. He didn't realize it was for his 1,000th point because he wanted him to run and run some clock there. He wanted him to run some clock, but instead, Caleb went in there to get Umar the ball so he could get the dunk to get his 1,000th point. It kind of reminded me of what happened in that football game last week with the Saints and the Falcons a couple weeks ago, where the Saints were trying to get somebody a score, and that didn't go too well at the end with their own coach, not to mention the coach from the Atlanta Falcons who promptly lost his job the next day.
He had already lost that job, though. Come on now.
True.
It wasn't because of that.
Yeah.
He had already lost that job during that season.
Absolutely.
So
one person who struggled a bit in that game against Utah was Mo Krivas. Tommy, this week on kind of what went wrong with Mo in that game Saturday. 7.3.
He didn't double down on some of the habits we worked on and tried to establish last game, and he got a little sloppy with some of his post-ups.
Yeah, so again, a lot of times with Mo Krivas, it just comes down to footwork in the paint, being ready when the ball is delivered to you. He fumbled the ball a couple times. And one time was a turnover. The other time he fumbled it and went off the defender out of bounds, so the Wildcats got the ball back. But those are instances where, if you're going to be that guy and they're going to be comfortable with you getting into the post, you got to be able to catch the ball when it gets in there to you.
Yeah, that's your part of the deal. I mean, we're going to get you that ball. You got to be able to hold on to it. And it's even tougher for you when you have a guy like Ballo that you could play. We can't give those minutes away. And even when you can go smaller and go with Keyshot at the 5, I can't give you those minutes if you're not gonna at least catch the ball and be physical.
Yeah. All right, 520-848-1290 is the number if you want to get in on the program. Coming up, we're going to hear from the voice of the Washington State Cougars, Matt Chazanow. We'll have our scouting report on the club that the Wildcats are going to face today. It's the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show. We've got about another 45 minutes with you. Heading into network coverage at 3 o'clock with Kelvin Efon and J.W. Madden. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290. All right, we're having a little bit of a technical difficulty here, so we'll kind of keep it here for the moment while we get that whole thing figured out, getting set for an exciting day of college basketball for you here on our station. Let's kind of give you an indication of what we got coming up for you the rest of the weekend. We've got Arizona women's basketball for you again on Sunday. That will be the second game on their road trip as the ladies will take on the Oregon Ducks, and that will be a start time of a little bit after 1 o'clock. Our coverage will begin at 12:45 tomorrow from Eugene with Derek Palmer. And then immediately after that ball game, we're going to have NFL coverage for you here. We'll have 2 NFL games for you on Wildcats Radio 1290 tomorrow. We'll have the middle game, which is the Packers. Well, actually, now it's the first game of the day because they've moved the early game, which was the Steelers and the Bills. They have moved that game to Monday. So Packers and Green Bay will join that game in progress for you tomorrow after Arizona women's basketball. And then we will have in its entirety the late game, the Sunday night game. That'll be the Rams at the Detroit Lions. And then we will also join in progress for you on Monday, the second game now, the evening game between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We'll have coverage of that game for you after the Tommy Lloyd Show on MLK Day. Reminder, there will be no DK on the sports tip on Monday due to the holiday and the celebration of the birthday of my frat brother, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. All right. It is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show. More after this time out on Wildcats Radio 1290.
This hour of the Meridian Wealth Management pregame show is brought to you by Broadway in Tucson, Dave & Buster's Tucson, Dorado Rock, First Choice Pools, The Good Feet Store, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Graham Plumbing, Restaurant Supply Store, Right Way Heating, Cooling and Plumbing, Rocking KA Master Plan Community Design by Nature, University Termite and Pest Control.
Tired of dry, itchy skin? Have mineral buildup at every faucet. Graham Plumbing's affordable, green, eco-friendly water softener and alkalized purification systems are built right here in our great state of Arizona and use a fraction of the wastewater as their competitors. Want soft water, non-chlorinated, or the best alkalized drinking water? You can trust Graham Plumbing to be your one-stop shop. Ask about their Water Taste Challenge. 40th year anniversary savings, up to $500 off water systems and $40 off any service. If your plumbing's in trouble, call Ram on the double.
You know there are times when you want a new truck, and there are times when you need a new truck. So if neither of those times are right now, O'Reilly Chevrolet is the time for you. O'Reilly is kicking off Savings and Selection 100. To celebrate 100 years in business, we have over 100 trucks to choose from. See them all at O'Reilly.com. Call 747-8000 or test drive one today on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Find new roads during Savings and Selection 100 at O'Reilly Chevrolet. More than a great price.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Here's an important message from University Termite and Pest Control. The weather is getting cooler here, and so rodents will be seeking alternative housing. Do you need a professional? Call University Termite and Pest Control, 886-4146. They've been serving Tucson since 1974. You can be assured University Termite and Pest Control will keep you pest-free using the most responsible products and application methods. 28 school districts, 3 hospitals, 2 colleges, 1 university, and thousands of homeowners trust University Termite and Pest Control. You can too. Call University Termite and Pest Control today at 886-4146 or go to bepestfree.com.
Do you often worry you left the garage door open? With a LiftMaster garage door opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out.
Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates is your authorized local LiftMaster dealer. Visit KaiserDoor.com for more information.
If you're a do-it-yourselfer looking for quality car parts in Tucson, look no further. Advance Auto Parts has 6 Tucson locations with over 75 years in business. Advance Auto Parts is the largest car parts retailer in the U.S., and customers know they can trust their products, like Die-Hard batteries. Now with free installation, only found at Advance Auto Parts stores. Take advantage of our same-day delivery and pickup. Just visit our website at stores.advanceautoparts.com and make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Advance Auto Parts for all your car repair needs. Now a proud radio sponsor of the University of Arizona Wildcats.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
Just my next greatest idea ever.
Playing the lottery?
That's right, Doug. With all my winnings, I can enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally fix your car right. No more disasters, Doug. Your luck is about to change.
Well, then keep on scratching, Eugene.
Good luck, Eugene. But if you need a sure thing in automotive repair or for your next set of tires, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care.
You know, we've guaranteed our tires in every auto repair since 1960.
With more than 35 Top Shop awards and our Partners Network 3-year nationwide warranty, you can count on Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care.
And check out this month's special savings.
Pay with your Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care card and get $66 back. And check out the full page of promotions, discounts, and coupons at jackfurriers.com.
So call ahead, make an appointment online, or just stop by any of our 14 area locations.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you.
The Window Depot is proud to sponsor the first look at today's game and would like to invite Arizona Wildcat fans to visit one of their Tucson warehouses. The Window Depot provides over 1,000 in-stock vinyl windows, interior and exterior doors, plus granite and quartz countertops, and a huge selection of custom cabinetry, all at the lowest prices in town. Consider the Window Depot your MVP when it comes to your home improvement needs. Stores are open Monday through Saturday, or order online at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
The Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show continues on the home of Arizona men's basketball, Wildcats Radio 1290. Our 1290 scouting report is brought to you by Ram Plumbing. When your plumbing is in trouble, call Ram on the double.
Let's take a little bit of a closer look at the Arizona Wildcats opponent, the Washington State Cougars. Pleased to be joined by the play-by-play man for Wazoo. His name is Matt Chazanow. And Matt, you guys are playing the home and away version of this different week in the Pac-12 conference. It started with a road game on Wednesday at USC and a good performance to go down there and get a win in Los Angeles by the Cougars.
Cougs played well. They played really good defense, and they locked up USC, held them to 64 points because of quality perimeter D. And, you know, they've been great through the year for the most part, maybe good, if not great, but toward the top of the pack in three-point percentage defense. They were terrible against the Ducks. And Coach Smith was really furious about it. And they let 14 threes go in, but they let some open threes go in. They had emphasized the defense all week, and it got through to the guys, and they played great defense and held USC up and got a win by 8 points on the road.
That's interesting because obviously Arizona lost a game at Stanford because their three-point defense was not up to snuff. And then on the offensive side, the Wildcats this past weekend against the Rocky Mountain schools really turned it on from the three-point line, knocking down 21 shots. This is a team that you guys have that came in billed as being potentially one of the better three-point shooting teams in the conference. How has that gone? Percentage at 34%. How does Coach kind of feel with the way the guys are shooting threes this year?
See, a little bit of a misnomer because Coach Smith has had really good three-point shooting. Well, you know, a better way to put it, David, is he's relied on three-point shooting since he's been here on the Palouse. And it's really negotiable for him as to how they get to 75 points. He would take an interior game if that's a strength. He would take a perimeter game if that's what he needs to do. He's really a defensive coach. You know, the offense can come and go as need be. And there's a certain amount of offense that needs to be there. He doesn't play like Tony Bennett did here, where he's trying to beat you 50 to 40. He wants to get into the 70 to 75 range. Not like what Tommy Lloyd wants to do, where you're scoring 95, more in the 70s. But it's really defense. And if you look year to year, the non-negotiable part of what Coach Smith emphasizes is specifically three-point defense. So that's the stat to look at. Cougs are great at that this year. I think he's wanted more shooting, you know, and you saw that a little bit with Jalen Wells in the starting lineup last game against USC. But they won that game inside against the Trojans. And when they've won this year, it's been because of Isaac Jones and Oscar Clough and quality rebounding from Ruben Chinyelu. They've won inside this year, and the three-point shooting, when it's been there, has been a big bonus.
We're talking with Matt Chazanow. He is the play-by-play man for the Washington State Cougars. It is our scouting report brought to you by Ram Plumbing. When your plumbing is in trouble, call Ram on the double. Isaac Jones is the leading scorer on your team, averaging 15 points per ball game this season, grabbing 7 rebounds per contest. What type of inside threat has he been this season?
Throwback, like 1997 here in Pullman. You know, back to the basket, righty hook shot. He can face up, but it's usually no further out than 15 feet, and he's really not looking to shoot that. He's trying to figure out a way to get to the rim or closer to it at least. He's worked really hard on his footwork. He's got drop steps to both sides. He loves this little rise-up righty push that he can get over the top of 7-footers, and Struggled with it a little bit in Salt Lake City. I think it was a little bit of a level jump in terms of talent from what he'd seen in the Big Sky and the opposition he played against regularly in the non-conference here at Wazoo, and so he's kind of figuring out what works in pack play. But Iwachukwu was really big for USC, and he got by him. And they did not have Joshua Morgan, who's an elite shot blocker, but he's seen enough with Hadley against Colorado, and and I think that he's seen sufficient competition to understand what he'll be able to do against Arizona's bigs, and he likes to get it fed to him in the post. It's actually turned into a lot of respect from the opposition because it's now an auto double team, and they've tried to get him to get rid of the ball.
And Miles Rice, one of the better freshmen that we're seeing in conference play this year already. He's won the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year, or Freshman of the Week award, I should say, twice, averaging right around 15 points and with a nice assist ratio there at 52 on the season. What's been impressive about this young freshman guard?
So fast with the ball. He's such a good story. He's a cancer survivor. He had cancer last year. He redshirted 2 years ago. He's academically a junior.
Wow.
And he's athletically a freshman. And he hadn't played since high school. He's a wonderful kid. He's got this incredible personality. He's infectious and positive, and he's probably better than they thought he'd be. I mean, he's been doing this against Isaiah Collier and Jackson Shellstad and Boogie Ellis with USC as well. And he didn't have as good of a mountain trip. He's kind of figuring out, just like Isaac Jones, I think. Talk about a cannonball splash in the deep end. You're going on the road to maybe the hardest road trip in the pack, probably debatable with now the desert schools, right, with the Wildcats and the Sun Devils, but right there with them. And I think that he's more than shown that he's capable of being a huge scout problem for the opposition, even when he is the primary part of the scout for the Cougar guards. So really, really fast with the ball. You're talking about elite ball speed. Some guys are fast without the ball, and then they get it and they slow down. He's got great shoulder lean, almost like a running back, like leans forward with it and is very hard to stop. Once he gets ahead of steam about half court, he's going to be able to penetrate and get all the way to the rim.
You mentioned, obviously, his battle with Hodgkin's lymphoma. How long did it take him to feel like he had his strength back and where he wanted to be in that respect, or is he still getting there?
Yeah, I think to some degree that's been part of what this year has been. Is he had the chemotherapy through last year. He rang the bell, which made everybody in Pullman and on campus just so excited and heartwarmed, really, to say the least. And when he rang that bell, it was, oh gosh, I'll get the dates wrong. I'm sure he knows them exactly. Less than a full year ago, or maybe about that, getting to this point in the year, because he came back with the team sometime toward the NIT last year. So maybe back end of the year or so, he kind of came back, and he wasn't playing or practicing. He was just recovering from chemo. So he's probably worked through this summer, tried to get into game shape, did, and now his minutes have ascended, and now he's full send. He could play 40 minutes, and maybe he will. He's been that good.
We're talking with Matt Chazanow. He is the play-by-play man for the Washington State Cougars. It's today's scouting report brought to you by Ram Plumbing. When your plumbing is in trouble, call Ram on the double. This is a roster, Matt, that's got a lot of kids from the state of Washington. Has that kind of been the way that Kyle Smith wanted to kind of build his program, with trying to keep a lot of kids at home?
Yeah, so he's looked at in-state recruits out of high school, and you'd love to get one of the top 3 or 4 kids out of Seattle every year if you can. And Isaiah Watts is a really nice player from the west side. His grandfather, Slick Watts of the Sonics. His dad played for the Huskies. So you've got Watts. You've got Dylan Darling, who broke Adam Morrison's Greater Spokane League scoring record. Darling is injured, and I don't know if he's going to go against the Wildcats. That's a TBD. But Jabe Mullins is a transfer from St. Mary's, and he's from Washington. Isaac Jones is a transfer from Idaho, which is not far away, of course, but he's from Spanaway. One of the things Kyle looks at, Coach Smith likes to look at the portal and say, who just hopped in the portal from parts unknown, and are they from Washington, and do they want to come back home? You know, are they good enough player? Do they fit the scheme? Good kid? Like, is it all that stuff? But he's noticed that players that get recruited elsewhere who wind up hopping in the portal, which is a shockingly high percentage nowadays of just kids who hop in the portal anyway. Why are they in the portal, of course, and you know what's the context? But are they from this state? And if they're from this state, you got an increased chance of getting them if maybe they were, you know, going somewhere else for whatever reason out of high school. Maybe they want to come back, and I think that's true in football also. I think that would be something that I bet every single coach has on their board. Kids that they recruited in the AAU circuit or that they knew of from high school in the area, Seattle, maybe the Portland area, you know, of course Spokane, and did they go somewhere else? And then do they want to come back home? You actually saw that with the Husky side of things with Cole Badgema when he left Michigan. You know, he's from Washington. He went to Seattle, so it's pretty common, you know. And so the answer is yes. They definitely look at the portal and they look to see who might want to be able to play closer to friends and family.
And I got to ask you about one of the assistant coaches on this roster, our guy Jeremy Harden from down here in Tucson. Saw him play a little bit over at Pima College back in the day. How's he kind of been on that staff there with Kyle Smith?
Oh, he's great. He's great. Coach Harden's a really good basketball mind, works his tail off. He's very tight with Isaac Jones. He was coaching him at junior college, and then he went to Moscow, Idaho with him, and now here he is with Isaac on as big a stage as you can get on Saturday. I mean, this is a really big game for the Cougs. Coach Harden and Coach Jones are very tight. He's fun to talk to. We've had him on the pregame show for the Scout, and he's great. It's been a wonderful addition to Coach Smith's staff. He's a pleasure to be around. I've had a beverage or two with him here and there on the road, and it's been really fun. He's a great guy.
And I want to ask Matt, just obviously with the changing evolution of college athletics and the demise of the Pac-12 conference and what's ahead for Washington State, and obviously on the football side, the merger with the Mountain West Conference. How's that all playing up in Cougar Nation about what the future is for the Washington State and the athletics program?
Do we have like 7 more hours in this interview? Because I think that would feel appropriate. Yeah, it started out as really panicky and anxiety producing, and there was a lot of nausea around what was going on. There's like 7 stages to this thing, right? But I think that at current, if you asked the Cougs and the Beavs how they feel, they'd say, well, we don't feel great, but nobody does. You know, Oregon and Washington took half shares, right? So they make less money than UCF and Iowa State in the Big 12 for the next 6 years, just for instance. UCLA is going to have to play Indiana in football, and that doesn't make a lot of sense. USC has always fancied itself as a kind of West Coast Notre Dame sort of power private program that can do whatever it wants. And by and large, they're probably right. You know, and I think USC as a football brand and what they are in Los Angeles has always wanted to be above the fray, and they've wanted to get back to the glory days of Coach McKay and, you know, of course, what Coach Pete Carroll did there, and they haven't, you know, and so they've been very frustrated for a lot of reasons. You guys would tell me better than, you know, you guys would know better than I would for the pulse of what's going on in the desert. I don't want to speak to you guys. The only sense I got, the only school that really was excited, like super, super excited about the Big 12 was Colorado, because they've never been able to play football in the Pac-12 successfully because they want to recruit Texas.
Mm-hmm.
They're not, you know, you go to California, you start talking about the Buffaloes, they go, why? It says, let's go play for a Pac school, you know. So Colorado wants to play Nebraska, and you know, they want to play Missouri, and they want to play Big 12 schools, and obviously that's not going to happen with their league alignment, but at least this is a better geographic fit. And so, you know, Utah's loved the Pac. It's been nothing but success for them. So I have omitted the Bay Area schools because I think by and large, especially with what's going on in the ACC, no one feels worse than Cal and Stanford. You know, I mean, Washington State and Oregon State feel like what they're currently doing is by contract and by context publicly temporary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is a for the moment kind of wait and see. Let's see what the landscape holds. Let's see how much there can be a meritorious result from all of this, because the reality is the Cougs and the Beavs have been very good at football over the last 5 to 10 years, depending on which program you're referencing. And they've got great fans, and they want to land in a spot that's geographically reasonable and also lucrative, you know, and is consistent with school profile and brand and all these things. So, you know, they don't feel great, but nobody does. Right. I don't think anybody feels great. I think they feel like they did what they had to do. Some schools feel like they panicked. Some schools feel like they leveraged, and I think they're going to wait and see what Florida State does with the ACC. I think they wait and see what the Big 12 still wants to do with 2 pro rata shares. They wait and see what they can do with their AQ bid, because the PAC still technically has this AQ bid to the playoff, and President Schultz has a vote on that committee. So there's a lot in the works, and I think it all feels like it's wait and see. I guess is it felt really, really bad, and the sun's starting to rise on the back end of this.
Well, at least we've got the Cougars and Gonzaga playing basketball twice a year. That's something to look forward to and be excited about, I would imagine, in that part of the country.
Yeah, it's been a shame that hasn't happened. I don't know about wanting it to have happened twice a year, because it would have been a non-conference game, but that's something that should happen annually. There's no good reason why the Cougs shouldn't play the Zags. They did forever. That series stopped. It's kind of the zeitgeist. Why play your local rival if you can leverage it into a
I'd definitely
better
be
game
open to.
elsewhere?
I'd definitely
financial disputes over ticket sales and all these things. I mean, look. There's so many Cougs who root for the Zags, and there's so many Zags because they don't play football. And so once you get into that, and they've been so good, and it's convenient in Spokane, and they haven't been in the same league, so it sort of feels like they're not competition. And even though that's wrong, they are competition, but it kind of feels otherwise. But I think you're right. It's good to get that back. That is an upside. I think it's not a great look. They know, everybody here knows. The elephant in the room here is you got a land grant ag state school in a Jesuit private league now for basketball, right? You've got small, private, religiously affiliated schools sitting down at the table, and they're going to have to divvy up funds and proceeds from the tournament. And on one hand, you've got literally like a religiously affiliated school board with bureaucratic state-funded entities with very different missions. Washington State and Oregon State are very different schools than Pepperdine.
Yeah.
And so it becomes hard to imagine that as the super long-term play. What's more realistic is probably what BYU just tried to do, or did, what BYU just did successfully in this very league.
Hey, Matt, appreciate you taking some time to join us. Have a great call today of this game between the Wildcats and Washington State.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you.
That's today's 1290 Scouting Report, brought to you by Ram Plumbing. When your plumbing is in trouble, call Ram on the double. Who is today's Pest of the Game? The Pest of the Game is brought to you by University Termite and Pest Control. Check them out at BePestFree.com.
All right, we got some bills to pay here, so let's begin to do that. Pest of the game, guys. I am going with the sophomore guard out of French, Kumani Winslow. 6'7", kind of tall for a guard, but he's had to start some games for Washington State this year due to the injury to Joseph Yasofo. And Kumani Winslow has dished out 44 assists in his reserve role. Started the last 9 games, averaging 3 assists per ball game, 7 steals, 11 blocked shots, 4 rebounds per game, 6 points per game. Sounds like a pest to me in Kumani Winslow.
I'm going to go with Jalen Wells. I just feel like that at forward, he's a guy that could knock down some threes and kind of get it going scoring-wise and also bring some defense. I just think he's a guy that can get on our skin today.
I'll go with Miles Rice just because quickness, and he's that guy who can get it done on his own. So any guy who can create for his teammates is a problem.
And what a great story, Miles Rice coming back from cancer.
Oh, yeah.
That's today's Pest of the Game. The Pest of the Game is brought to you by University Termite and Pest Control. Visit BePestFree.com. Tucson, what are some of today's best bets? Will the Cats beat the spread? It's time to look at some of today's best bets. Brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right. Best bets, Arizona -9. Kelvin.
I'll take it. I'll take the 9. I think Arizona wins this game by 13.
All right. J-Dub.
Yeah, same.
9. I'll lay it as well. Everybody's laying the 9. Over-under for this one is 153.
Over.
Everybody's going to go over, so I'm going to go over. So everybody's laying the number. Everybody's taking the over. We'll see who wins the money coming up tonight.
Those are today's best bets. They are brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown and Tipoff Show on the home of Arizona men's basketball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Caruso's, a Tucson tradition since 1938, located on historic 4th Avenue. For 4 generations, Caruso's handmade sauce has been prepared with love by a family member, using only the best ingredients. Enjoy specialty Italian dishes like lasagna al forno, chicken tetrazzini, real Italian sausages, spectacular pizza, as well as many vegetarian options. Caruso's offers outdoor dining on their garden patio, with indoor dining also available. Open Tuesday through Sunday, with all your favorites available for takeout. For more information, call 520-624-5765 or visit their website at carusositalian.com.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
Comes easy at Rock & Kay, nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills. Enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rock & Kay. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockandK.com. Designed by nature, built for you. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Okay, kids, we're home. Everybody out.
Ew, my feet are stuck.
In what, honey?
On the floor.
Ew. Take off your shoes. Tommy, come carry your sister into the house.
What do you do when the car you use the most has the least amount of time to get clean? Let Recon Auto Detailing, Arizona's premier auto detailing company, come to you and turn your busiest car back into your best. From basic cleaning to a full detail, Recon Auto Detailing. Online at recondetail.com.
The new Blue Whale Car Wash, formerly Octopus Car Wash, is now open. They're locally owned and operated and offer many ways for you to save. Start now by downloading the Blue Whale Car Wash app. Then visit their website at bluewhalecarwashaz.com to find a location near you. Don't forget to follow them on Instagram and Facebook for even more savings. And for a limited time, their exterior-only wash is $5 at all 4 locations. Blue Whale Car Wash, proud radio sponsor of the University of Arizona Wildcats. At Standard Restaurant Supply, their vision and #1 goal is to improve the lives of their customers and clients by providing a better culinary experience. Standard Restaurant Supply, if it's in a restaurant and not food, they have it. Open to the public, no membership fees, and they offer bulk store pricing without the bulk store purchase. Open Monday through Saturday at 601 South Cherry Avenue or call 885-2345. Standard Restaurant Supply is a proud sponsor of the U of A Radio Sports broadcast.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
With the new year, we usually make resolutions to be healthier. Water quality in your home can help you achieve healthy living goals. I'm Ron Arenas with Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. We offer solutions to filter the water in your house that you drink, shower, and cook with every day. For clean and healthy water, call 520-440-4069.
as Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 30 years. Goldberg and Osborne agrees, bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including 5 in Tucson and Southern Arizona, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 1,800 5-star Google reviews prove Goldberg and Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after any accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg and Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
This is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tipoff Show on the home of Arizona men's basketball. Wildcats Radio 1290. Wildcats fans, our keys to the game are brought to you by the Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive, the dealership that is different.
All right, guys, keys to the game today. This is a Washington State team that will take threes. They average close to 20 per ball game. So I'm going to say that, obviously, anytime you go out on the road in that type of environment, defending that three-point line is going to be one major key. You don't want this to turn into a Stanford situation and get them going at home. Also, they're a very good defensive team, are the Washington State Cougars. So I think you're going to need to go inside today, and I think when you do go inside, they're a team that likes to block shots. So let's pump fake. Let's try to get them in the air and get some fouls and get to the line. I think an Arizona Wildcat team that can get to the free throw line in this ball game will be an Arizona Wildcat team that can win pretty easily on the road. They're also a team that likes to deny transition, and we know that that's one of the things for Arizona. So you've got to be able to score in transition to win this ball game today.
Yeah, agree with all that. Also, I feel that they do a great job of scoring in the post and in the paint. I think we got to do a great job of taking that away. They do real good job of post-to-post passing, so the guards are going to have to really dig in there and help out and force that ball back out of there. Also, I feel like Keyshawn Johnson and Pella Larson, I want to see those guys be aggressive offensively. I think we're a better team when all 5 guys are being aggressive to score.
Yeah, I agree with everything. I just have one key. Just remember that tree. Just remember what happened up there in Palo Alto. Take this team as seriously. They just went to L.A., guys, and beat USC for the first time in 9 years, whatever. That's a quality team they're playing tonight. Show what Arizona basketball is all about. Come out there, play that hard on-ball defense, get out at shooters, and bring home that win.
All right, that's exactly what we think needs to happen for the Wildcats to win today in Pullman.
Wildcats fans, that's our keys to the game. Brought to you by the Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive, the dealership that is different.
Tommy Lloyd, we showed you the video a little bit earlier of that Brian Jeffries posted -4 from the pool. That's the current temperature in Pullman, Washington. It may have warmed up just a little bit since Brian posted that video. Tommy Lloyd knows a little bit about what the weather is like. He is from Eastern Washington and asked if he's got his players prepared for this weather that they're experiencing.
I mean, come on. You're going to play a hard road game, and if you're going to let the weather on the outside impact what's going to happen on the inside, you're probably not focused on the right things. So, no, I mean, obviously, we got, Emoy, Briggs will, I'm sure he'll gear the guys up, and they'll be plenty warm.
Emoy, for those of you that aren't aware, but I think everybody in this fan base knows who Emoy is, or the term Emoy stands for Equipment Manager of the Year. That is Brian Brigger, who has been the longtime handler of all of the equipment for the University of Arizona men's basketball team. I'm sure he had the heavy jackets and the heavy coats to get them from the plane to the bus and from the bus into the hotel. It's not like you have to play outside in this -4 degree temperatures. But I guess, does that affect at all, Kelvin? I mean, when you go into a cold climate, I mean, is it harder to maybe get the blood flowing to start your warm-up, or is once you get into the building, it doesn't even matter?
Nah, we play indoors, man. Yeah. I mean, there's no excuse about what's going on outdoors. The drivers get us there, right? We got a big coats on.
That's
all
the
that
only
stuff.
concern.
The drivers get us there. That's what we need. Get us to the game, and we got to get inside of there. And as some of the players said, create your own energy, because I think a lot of the times what happens when you're on the road playing at other people's house, especially in weather like this, having that energy, because, it gets dreary a little bit. It's like when it's raining in Seattle, right, that snow or whatever. It's a little dreary or whatever, but you get a chance to play big-time Division I basketball for represent the University of Arizona in the tradition. Man, come on. Let's go. Let's go.
There you go. All right, we also heard a little bit from head coach this week, Tommy Lloyd, about Henry Vasar, who's been out with an injury for the majority of the season. Tommy Lloyd on the timeline and when they would need to decide whether or not to redshirt Vasar.
There's no set date on it, and you can kind of at any point you can remove the red shirt tag from him and play him. He's available, he's eligible. Henry and I have had some good meetings, and that's kind of where we both settled in on that would be the best thing for him. And and it's one of those deals. You watch him in practice, the last couple of days, and you think maybe we shouldn't, because he's playing pretty well. But I think that in my mind's eye, that's probably the best thing for his long-term development is to do that this year, just with how the injury and then how this season's played out.
Yeah, I can't imagine at this late date, 15 games in, you're almost halfway through the season at this point. It wouldn't make sense unless there's an injury to one of your bigs for Henry Vasar to really play at all. But it's interesting, Tommy, also this week, there is no rule in basketball like there is in football where guys can play during the season and still maintain their red shirt. Tommy was asked if he thinks basketball should have a rule like that.
I mean, I'd definitely be open to it. I mean, I think it'd be healthy, for the guys, just especially now, when you're, we have 13 scholarships and 5 guys got to play, and, so, you get an injury or two, things get thin really quick. And so, yeah, I mean, I think just for overall, student athlete experience, for health and safety of players, I think it would, the more people you could keep, eligible to play but maintain their long-term eligibility, I think would be better for the sport.
I mean, why wouldn't you do that? I mean, if you're doing it in football, why wouldn't you do it in basketball?
Makes no sense. And I always, for some reason, I was telling myself that, you can. You can play 10 games. Usually this season about 40 games. Mm-hmm. So I would say 10 games. What's that, 25% of the season? Right. Basically the same as what they're doing in football. Football is like 4 games, right?
Yeah.
So I don't understand. That don't seem to me hard to get done. Yeah, I mean, that would just seem, easy.
Indeed. Well, we'll see. There's, it's the NCAA. There are harder things to figure out in terms of how they do their business.
And I'll say this, too. What it does is, I think in football, what you notice is it gives those guys a little playing time, and some of those guys that's on the cusp of wanting to leave, they stay because they like, oh, man, hey, the coach do care about me. He do want to see me play or whatnot. And so I feel like it'll do the same thing in basketball. I think it'll be a little harder to find spots for guys to play because the minutes are so valuable, right? But at the same time, being able to get a guy in a game or two to take a shot or to play defense for a little bit, it just keeps them locked in the program.
All right, let's give you your starting lineups for today's game.
The foundation of a great college basketball team begins with the starting lineup. Today's starting lineup is brought to you by Rockin' K, a master plan community designed by nature.
At one guard, Kylan Boswell, 6'2", sophomore out of Champaign, Illinois, averaging 11 points and 4 assists per contest. Caleb Love at another guard, 6'4", senior out of St. Louis, 18 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 7 games over 20-plus points this year. Pelle Larsson at a guard position, 6'5", senior out of Sweden. He is averaging 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. At a forward, 6'7", senior out of Oakland, Keyshawn Johnson, 12 points, 6 boards, and the man in the middle is Umar Ballo, 7-foot senior out of Mali, averaging 13 points and 8 rebounds. Stay tuned. It is Arizona versus Washington State coming up next. For Kelvin Efon and J.W. Madden, I'm David Kelly. Enjoy the game, bear down Arizona, and go Browns!
This hour of the Meridian Wealth Management pregame show is brought to you by Broadway in Tucson, Dave & Buster's Tucson, Dorado Rock, First Choice Pools, The Good Feet Store, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Ram Plumbing, Restaurant Supply Store, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rocking KA Master Plan Community Designed by Nature, University Termite and Pest Control.
Wildcat fans know that when you're looking for the best place to watch all the big games on big screens, drinking cold beer and having the best food, all paths lead to Desert Diamond. Bet on your Wildcats and all your favorite teams 24/7 on our easy-to-use kiosks. Come chill on our comfy couches and build your best bet at Arizona's best bet, the Desert Diamond Sportsbook and Bar.
An enterprise of the Tohono O'odham Nation.
Problem gambling? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Desert Diamond Casino is licensed in Arizona.
Desperate buyers have created tremendous opportunity for sellers. If you've had the slightest thought of selling your home, it's time to call Sean Poston with the Poston Results Team at Keller Williams, Southern Arizona. Why choose the Poston Results Team? Past performance, more money in your pocket, over a 65% referral rate, an incredible Poston Results Team staff, and most important, communication, because you and your home matter. The Poston Results Team. When buying and selling really mattered, go to TucsonHomeValues.com. That's TucsonHomeValues with an S.com.
Tired of dry, itchy skin? Have mineral buildup at every faucet. Ram Plumbing's affordable, green, eco-friendly water softener and alkalized purification systems are built right here in our great state of Arizona and use a fraction of the wastewater as their competitors. Want soft water, non-chlorinated, or the best alkalized drinking water? You can trust Ram Plumbing to be your one-stop shop. Ask about their Water Taste Challenge. 40th year anniversary savings, up to $500 off water systems and $40 off any service. If your plumbing's in trouble, call Ram on the double.
Frog and Firkin, a standout among the bars and restaurants in the University area. Frog and Firkin does what very few pubs can, combine a festive atmosphere and great beer with a menu that could stand on its own in any restaurant setting. A sports enthusiast dream with over 30 TVs, 30 beers on tap, and over 100 import and domestic bottles. Daily drink and food specials, and the kitchen is serving until 10. A standout in the University area. Frog and Firkin. Eat local, support local. frogandfirkin.com.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 30 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees, bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including 5 in Tucson and Southern Arizona, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 1,800 5-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after any accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
Old Pueblo Harley-Davidson is the pre-owned inventory destination. With hundreds of pre-owned Harley-Davidson motorcycles to choose from, save $2,000 or even $6,000 at Old Pueblo Harley's pre-owned clearance sale. Now through the end of the month, Old Pueblo is accepting 100% of all credit applications with low financing options available. Take a test ride and receive a free dealer tee. Only at Old Pueblo Harley-Davidson or online at oldpuebloharley.com. Some restrictions may apply. See dealer for details.
Here's an important message from University Termite and Pest Control. The weather is getting cooler here, and so rodents will be seeking alternative housing. Do you need a professional? Call University Termite and Pest Control, 886-4146. They've been serving Tucson since 1974. You can be assured University Termite and Pest Control will keep you pest-free using the most responsible products and application methods. 28 school districts, 3 hospitals, 2 colleges, 1 university, and thousands of homeowners trust University Termite and Pest Control. You can too. Call University Termite and Pest Control today at 886-4146 or go to bepestfree.com.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
With these scratchers, I'll win enough dough to enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally know how to fix your car.
Of the Arizona Sports Network.
The 1997 national champions, your Arizona Wildcats.
The future is bright, but the present is now.
That's on the run. They've got numbers. Larson, jam it home. Inside, Paulo turns, lay it up. Good, and he's fouled. Boswell on the run. 2-on-1, 3-on-1 to Larson, and Palouse slams it home.
Let it rip. I mean, that's our theme. We're going to go there. We're not going to be conservative, and we're going to go for it.
Bounce right corner. Boswell for 3. It's good. Ivy right, shovel it for Baystar, who slams it home.
Arizona basketball is on the air. This is the Hughes Federal Credit Union Countdown to Tip-Off. Hughes Federal Credit Union, proud sponsor of Arizona Athletics. Analysis, commentary, and conversations with players and head coach Tommy Lloyd are all ahead. Now let's go live courtside with the voice of the Wildcats, Brian Jeffries.
The rolling hills of eastern Washington are blanketed in a winter coat of ice and snow, while inside Beasley Coliseum, the hometown Cougars hoping the Wildcats feel the heat of a Saturday afternoon battle on the hardwood. Jack Friel, the legendary coach at Washington State. The court named in his honor. It's a place the Wildcats have had great success over the years, but recently those wins have been harder to come by. Can the Cats win their 12th straight game in Pullman, or will the Cougars add to this week's string of upsets? We'll find out over the next 3 hours. Welcome to our courtside seats for the 89th meeting between the Felines of Arizona and Washington State. The Wildcats start play today with an overall record of 12-4. Cougars are 11-5, but these teams are as close as their records indicate, or are they that close? Now, according to analytics guru Ken Pomeroy, Arizona has played the toughest schedule of any team in the Pac-12. Washington State has played the weakest schedule thus far of any team in the Pac-12. Following a 9-2 start to the season, the Cougars have lost 3 of their 5 Pac-12 games. However, Washington State beat USC in Los Angeles on Wednesday, giving notice that their record matches their ability. The Wildcats didn't have a weeknight game to play, but they're on the road where anything can happen. The Cats played exceptionally well last weekend, beating Colorado and Utah with ease. Now the challenge of taking it on the road will be put to the test. Arizona beat Cal in Berkeley, then lost by 18 at Stanford. The Cats' last 3 wins in Pullman have come by 5, 8, and 4 points. Washington State 8-1 at home this year. Their only loss coming to Oregon. Cougars have succeeded despite the fact that 4 of last season's 5 starters departed, 2 to the portal, 2 to pro basketball. So Reggie Geary, beyond the X's and O's, the Wildcats should have learned a lesson at Stanford a couple weeks ago, and that is bring your A game or else.
Or else is right, Brian. You know, if you don't come with the right attitude, energy, and focus, things in terms of losing on the road, like what happened at Stanford, is possible. So we're going to find out today, have they learned that lesson? They were able to go home, regroup, have a nice homestand against the Rocky Mountain schools, and really played an Arizona style of basketball that we're more familiar with, that we saw earlier in the year. They shot the lights out. They averaged 94.5 points over that weekend, shot 55% from the 3 over the 2 games. The last game against Colorado, 11 dunks, and shot a season-high 60%. So they found their offensive flow. We're going to find out, is that going to be something that's going to travel with them on the road today? So very imperative they get off to a good start.
So Arizona leads the nation in scoring. Washington State leads the league in defense. And so something's going to give here. The Cougars do not want this game played in the 80s, certainly not the 90s. They would like this game played in the 60s, maybe the 70s. How does Arizona combat that? And we'll talk to Tommy Lloyd coming up in a few minutes here about tempo, because Arizona runs a much faster tempo than Washington State. Can you run your tempo on the road? That's going to be my question for Coach. We'll let him answer that coming up in a few minutes. But it's always a challenge because the other team has something to say about it. And so can the Cougars slow this game down to their liking?
Yeah, you know, in the coaching ranks, we always say it's much easier to slow a game down than it is to speed it up, just because you can walk the ball up the floor, you can move the ball side to side, you can play zone. There's things you can do to slow things down, and Washington State's going to attempt to do all those things this evening. Arizona, once again, whether the game is fast or slow, the big thing is they have to realize, in my mind, they're the better team. They have the better players, and whatever style that is, they should feel confident that, you know, they can still get the victory. But the big thing is Arizona just needs to play Arizona basketball, and if it defensively, if they can create some turnovers and get some balls and get this to an up-tempo game, obviously that plays to their favor.
Cougars have a lot of new faces on their roster, including their leading scorer, Isaac Jones. Played at Idaho last year, just 8 miles from where we sit right now, and he's averaging almost 15 points a game. He's 6'9", had 26 and 11 at USC in their last outing. He's a load inside. They've got some guys that can shoot threes, but they don't look for the three-point shot. This is a team kind of like Arizona that would prefer to score in the paint if they get that opportunity.
Yes, I think points in the paint is a number or a figure we should be looking at all night, because as you mentioned, both teams want to play that way. Washington State, they get 50%, almost 36.5 points from inside the arc, and a big part of that is why Isaac Jones, as you mentioned, does not utilize the shoot three or even look to shoot it, but he's very good in terms of catching it around the elbow and getting into that post area, and he's very effective with his old man game. Oscar Clough is another individual that take a look at. Miles Rice is a scoring point guard, the redshirt freshman, likes to play downhill, so points in the paint will be huge. Obviously, Arizona has the advantage size-wise. They'll be looking to go inside as well.
Cats and the Cougars from a snowy Pullman, Washington, where it was 6 degrees when we left the hotel and walked to the game. I'm pointing that out to everybody. Reggie and I walked. It's about a quarter mile from the, would you say it's a quarter mile?
Yeah, about a quarter mile.
Right.
I would say a mile.
Well, no. Now you sound like my dad. Yeah, I walk 5 miles in 3 feet of snow to school every day. No, it's about a quarter mile downhill and 6 degrees, and we made it. We're here. We'll see how the crowd rolls in on a Saturday afternoon here in Pullman. It is cold. It's unusually cold, but we're indoors, and that's where this game will be played, and that's good news. Cats Cougs, more coming up. Ryan Hansen joins us next. This is Wildcat Basketball from Learfield.
Arizona Complete Health is your partner through every twist and turn, bump and bruise, or new addition life has in store for you. Because our health insurance plans are plans you can count on. We have Marketplace, Medicaid, and Medicare options that give you the care you need no matter what comes your way. Arizona Complete Health, a plan for life. Learn more at planforlifeaz.com.
We're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Wildcats basketball across the Grand Canyon State.
Simon squeezes through 2 men, drives to the bucket and puts it in. He's down the lane. Oh, my!
This is the Arizona Sports Network from Learfield.
Progressive presents Spectator Tips from Flo, who knows nothing about sports.
First, talk about retired players with reverence, even if they did crush your dreams when they played. Next, whenever people get excited, just yell, "It's about time!" Works in any situation. Finally, when someone mentions protecting the QB, tell them how Progressive protects you round the clock.
That has nothing to do with sports.
Nitro?
Anyway, bundle your home and auto to get round-the-clock protection with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
You know how we Wildcats love our games. And there's no place better, closer, or safer to game than Desert Diamond Casinos. Filled with hundreds of the newest, loosest slots, dozens of your favorite table games, and superior food and beverage options. Desert Diamond is the #1 destination for your free time fun festivities. Bear down for the best time in Tucson. Go to Desert Diamond Casinos. Go Cats!
You're listening to the Countdown to Tip-Off, presented by Hughes Federal Credit Union, proud supporter of the University of Arizona and home to the official Arizona Athletics debit card. Now, here's your host, Ryan Hansen.
Last weekend, Arizona completed the sweep of the Mountain Schools at home, topping Utah on Saturday evening by 19 points. The game was relatively close in the first half, but Keshad Johnson scored half of his 20 points, and Kylan Boswell scored all of his 11 to steady the Cats. Keshad Johnson was 9 of 11 from the field, including this dunk early.
To Larson, feed it right corner to Johnson. Keshad into the lane, goes to the bucket, and jams it home.
7-footer Brandon Carlson trying to guard Keshad out in space. Advantage Johnson.
4-2 Wildcats on top.
Kylan Boswell was 7 of 12 from the three-point line over the 2 games last weekend. He went 3 for 5 against Utah.
Priebus there for the Arizona rebound. Outlet Boswell runs it in a hurry. Boswell down, stop and pop a 3 in transition, and buries it. Boswell back-to-back triples. Cats just like that, back up 42-36.
Pella Larson is averaging a career-best 12.5 points and shooting 57% from the three-point line this season. He scored in double figures in 13 of his 15 games and has 20 assists to just 6 turnovers in his last 6 games. The senior from Sweden scored 13 points against Utah and hit a major milestone, 1,000 career points.
Priebus the rebound. Smith still sitting in the lane. Wildcats throw it to Larson, slam it home. Timeout called by the officials here is Davon Smith. That both possessions, Utah's possession and then Arizona's, he never got up off the baseline. Got hurt, was sitting on the floor.
Pella Larson just scored his 1,000th point.
Pella Larson spoke after the game about the accomplishment of 1,000 career points.
Yeah, I mean, it goes by quick. It's been a lot of fun, and when you just hoop, you kind of don't really pay attention to this kind of stuff that just happened. So I'm happy for O, and yeah, next game is Saturday.
Pella wasn't the only man to top 1,000 points in his career last Saturday. Umar Ballo did it as well.
Caleb holding inside to Ballo. Pump fake and slam it home.
Big post up from Big Ballo. Carlson can do nothing but watch the dunk.
17 for Ballo. Tell you about that in a moment. That's his 1,000th point.
Here's Umar Ballo on his career moment.
Honestly, you know, I started Gonzaga, played 1 year, didn't really play much. So came here for 3 years, been a long and great 3 years, and I'm grateful for it. And happy for Pele that he got his 1,000 point too, so. Yep.
In Arizona's 2 wins over Colorado and Utah, the Wildcats made 47 lay-ins or dunks. Umar Ballo speaks about the high-efficiency baskets for the Cats.
Honestly, we were just trying to make layups, whether it's dunk or laid in. We just wanted to make 2 point. And if we had the chance to dunk the ball, which is like 100% or less, like secure to make the basket, then we just take that. But we were not trying to dunk everything. You know, it just happened.
Stay tuned as we prepare you for today's matchup with the Washington State Cougars. Later in the pregame show, we'll hear from Arizona Wildcat Caleb Love. Tommy Lloyd will sit down with the voice of the Wildcats, Brian Jeffries, and so much more. But when we come back, it's a college basketball scoreboard update from Andrew Allison. You're listening to Arizona Basketball from Learfield.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain Cold Refreshment made to chill.
2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Cat Nation, bank like a champion. MidFirst Bank is the largest privately owned bank in the nation, meaning you get a range of products and features you need with a customer service you deserve. Being privately owned, MidFirst Bank is not impacted by the ups, downs, and double dribbles of the stock market. So bank with MidFirst today and feel like the champion of your finances. Learn more at midfirst.com. Member FDIC.
Arizona Basketball is brought to you in part by Barbasol. Feeling great starts with a great shave, and great shaves start with Barbasol shaving cream. For whatever your day brings, choose Barbasol. It's a can of can-do.
Winner of the BBB Torch Awards for Ethics.
Parker & Sons.
Voted #1 12 years in a row by consumers in Ranking Arizona.
Parker & Sons Plumbing.
5-star service and Google Home Services certified.
Parker.
Angie's List Super Service Award.
Parker & Sons.
Contractor of the Year Award.
Parker & Sons.
Parker & Sons is the most decorated company in Tucson, with award-winning installations and service for all your AC, plumbing, and electrical needs. Call Parker at 520-2REPAIR. That's 520, the number 2, then REPAIR for Parker.
Want to live in the heart of it all? A stylish, sophisticated